And we are live. Hello everyone, welcome to the Last Arc YouTube channel. My name is SSJ Cody, Chadmiral of the Last Arc YouTube channel and Special Great Sorcerer. Today I'm joined by my wonderful and lovely co-host, Straw Hat Lucas.
Hello.
Rear Chadmiral vexyz, the lurking twerking legend.
Reporting for booty.
And today we are joined with a very special guest that makes me feel warm and all tingly inside. It's 90s nostalgia anime!
What's going on, everybody?
Let's go. Oh my goodness. Yo, I gotta try that out. Like I've never. It's like with a G, right?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. Okay, Lucas.
No, you did it.
Shishi.
Cody.
What up? Oh, Shishi everyone. Welcome to the Last Arc YouTube channel. I'm sorry, no, we won't redo it. What's up everyone? How we doing?
Yo, shout out. Already got some goats in the chat. We got
Goat
Train
Train, Grand Line Down, 3-day trip, stupid raccoon. I tell y'all, I'm gonna have the 3-day voice down here pretty soon. Y'all, none of y'all ain't gonna know when it's me or her in voice. I'll tell you what.
Dude, it is eerie how close you are.
The more I watch that rap, I can't stop myself. Like, shout out to 3-day. I can't. Like, that literally is like on loop.
Yes, and if anyone in the chat has not seen our good man, Grand Line Down, Dr. Smokey of the Last Arcs, Alabasta Arc Review Part 2, holy crap, you need to watch it. It's so good.
I gotta introduce him as the Dr. Vega Smokes, as well as the emergency food supply of the Last Arc. I'm sorry. You'll get that once you watch part 2. It's so funny, dude. It's hilarious.
Cody sounds like he wants to offer me popsicles.
He said me.
And he has loads in his cellar.
Does anybody have the popsicles? You know, we got the little jingle that goes tut.
No, if I was gonna do that voice, I was gonna sound like this and tell you, get your fat ass back in my basement.
Yo, can anyone do the tooth whistle? Can anyone do the tooth whistle though? Because you really gotta do that to sell it.
I can't.
You gotta sell the tooth.
No, I have too many teeth in my mouth.
Give me a couple more years.
Yeah. So the only Chadmirals mainstay since the beginning is every week I gotta ask what everyone's been reading or watching, and let's start with our guest this time, Rye Guy. What have you been reading or watching this week?
So, reading-wise, I'm definitely continuing. I am probably one of the biggest advocates for Kaiju number 8 out there. I am loving the series. I'm totally excited for the anime to come up. So I've been keeping up on that one. I just picked up issue 9 or volume 9, but I'm already caught up in all the translations. I'm also reading Undead Unluck. I picked up book 12, 13, 14 of that. And then I picked up book 1 and 2 of Solo Leveling. I've really been enjoying that series. And so I wanted just to have the physical copies and start reading that. But also, one of the series that I just got done watching on Hulu was Ishura. And I was really, really enjoying that. Have anyone picked that up or watched it?
No, not yet. I've got the first volume of Kaiju number 8. I have not cracked into it yet. But I've heard several good things about it.
It takes a few episodes or a few chapters to get, really get into the swing of things, but right out of the gate, it's a good read.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of really good things about it. There's a lot of buzz on TikTok, and then I've also heard a whole lot about Undead Unluck. I haven't gotten into it myself, but I know Joshua Vythor, another member of the Last Arc, is huge into that stuff right now, and in his Discord they're talking about it. So I want to check it out. It doesn't have an anime, does it?
Yeah.
It just got one? Is that what it is?
Yeah, the anime should probably be around, we'll call it volume 5 or 6 right now. But yeah, it just started, but currently I think they're already up into chapter 120-ish. Maybe even lower than that, 110.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just about to hit 120 or just starting the 120s. Because I've been wanting to read that as well. Joshua Victor, the musician of The Last Ark, has sworn by it for like the last month and a half.
It's a great read. And then here's the thing, like whatever, it just has a great storyline and totally has something different that we're not used to. So it just, again, it has a whole different shift around chapter, 70-ish. And it's really interesting. I'm right there with him. I'll stand behind this. I was a little hesitant at first, but the more I started watching it and the more I started reading it, I'm definitely behind Undead Unluck.
Nice. Cody, Vex, what did you guys watch this week? Or read?
Y'all know me. I don't read. No, I'm sorry. I very rarely read.
Yes.
But I am hype that apparently Cody is going to be reading Dawn to Dawn and JJK to me soon. So tomorrow, Sunday. Okay, so soon. Very, very hyped for that. But I gotta say, every single time, man, the answer is Frieren. It's always Frieren. Everything comes back to Frieren, dude. It's so good. And like, I actually haven't watched today's episode, and I'm so hyped too. But I was cooking on a different podcast earlier, so I didn't actually have a lot of time.
Shout out to Polypede, by the way, because I was there for the first like hour of it. Oh, you guys were cooking.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. Major shout out to the Rose Skull podcast and Polypede Works and Zach as well. Like, I had a lot of fun, but I did not get to watch Frieren today, so I'm gonna be diving into that new episode as soon as we get done with this podcast here. But the arc that they're in right now is freaking peak, dude. It is so good. I am loving some of the new characters that are being. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody because I know Lucas is not caught up, and I think Cody's a couple behind as well. It is so good. I absolutely love it. I'm gonna be so ridiculously sad when this season ends. It's crazy. And also, I went back through some parts of Boruto because I read it and I didn't watch a lot of it. But I watched some of the fights, and the fights are freaking insane. And yeah, I gotta say, like, they freaking killed it. Like, it might be one of the best fights. Like, that's been like 2 years old now, like that situation. But it's so good. Oh my goodness. Like, you need to read you need to read Naruto, Lucas, so we can talk about that, because I have so many things I want to say right now.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm on episode 5 of Naruto. I've been reacting to it on TikTok.
That just like broke my brain. I've heard rumors of a mythological creature like yourself. Like, I didn't actually experience.
Cody's out here like
one today.
Yeah,
his tattoo. Like,
yeah. Cody's out here like, I got the hidden leaf.
Cody's branded. I don't have to question Cody. He's good.
With Naruto, I watched up to the Chunin exams when it was coming out, and then they went on a break or something. I can't remember what it was, but I lost interest. And then I've been reacting to it on TikTok, and I'm on episode 5. I just haven't had time to do lives. I've been so busy lately.
Wow, I did not know that. I did not know that about. That's cool though.
Yeah, when I caught up to One Piece, I hadn't read Bleach yet either, and right now I'm on chapter 320 of Bleach. Yeah, it's good so far. Cody, what about you, brother? What have you been watching and reading this week?
I've been rewatching Dragon Ball Z with my sister. She's been wanting to get into more classic anime like that. She's been really liking that. And me and my mom have been catching up on One Piece. I like to try to, like, when my family says they want to sit down and watch anime, I'm gonna put everything I have aside and be like, "Oh, yeah, let's go!"
Hell yeah!
So it's like,
I love that energy. Yeah,
my mom was behind like 7 episodes of One Piece, and to preface this, her favorite character is Garp, and she saw the opening, was like, "Was that?" And I was like, "Yeah, he's coming back, baby." And she's like, "No, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna fight?" And I said, "Oh yeah." And she's like, "Ah!" Like, my mom finally had her moment. It was really cool.
That's dope.
Egghead has been insane. Like, the anime has been just killing it, bro. It's so good.
I'm loving it. I absolutely have been loving the new art style for Egghead. Just wonderful. Very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very refreshing.
It's I don't really like the One Piece anime that much, but if it gets my mom into it, who am I to argue? I've been trying to get her to read the manga for years, and she won't. So I mean, if she's watched 1,000 episodes, who am I to, I'll give and take some battles.
Right. Yeah, I've been trying to get my mom to watch the anime. She just won't, because she loved the live action and she's so excited. She asks me all the time, "What's going on with season 2? When are they doing season 2? What's going on with season 2?" So I actually texted her today and told her about Taz coming out and be like, "We're about to start shooting soon." And she was like,
Shout out to my boy John Sherrod on all social
media.
JJ, we love the OPU crew. What's good, brother?
And then reading, everyone knows that I'm reading week to week. Everyone knows. I'm throughout heaven and earth, I alone in the coping one. Like,
nice.
This week, I literally think Gege Akutame, I'll say it right here. JJK is probably my top 3 favorite manga ever. I don't remember feeling this way reading a manga week to week since Naruto. I don't. I really don't. And like
the tension is there, man. Without spoiling anything for Vex, the tension is insane.
It literally, like, I think I messaged Lucas, Dan, and like everyone when I was like, "Dog, Gege literally using the power of love and friendship is like tenfold brain in a shonen manga." Like, someone was like, "How are they gonna win?" And I was like, "Is this your first time reading a shonen, my friend?" But the way Gege did it is like mega brain, like so big, and I'm like, it's literally the power of love. It's so good. Like,
I'm loving his curveballs. Oh, Gege is throwing some awesome curveballs at us, and I think he's doing a great job.
Just so I don't spoil anything for Vex,
vexyz.
But yeah, the man inside of OG's body giving the flowers to our boy, though, being like, "I'm so glad it was you." Like, dude. So good, man. So good. I love talking about it.
It's kind of like impossible for me to skirt like every spoiler. Like I definitely know a little bit about what happened in the most recent chapter, even though I'm like still like pre-culling games. Like, but I've seen stuff. I'm on the internet. I exist. It happens.
Right.
So I mean, don't worry too much. Like,
you can't go blind with it.
I just know you don't know the name of the person that's inside Geto's body, so I don't want to spoil that for you, because when they explain it, it's
what's crazy about that is in the Tankobon, in the chapter right where Shibuya ends, they literally draw freaking Geto in that body with the stitches, and they give him the real freaking name in the Tankobon right there. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. That's what I was floored. I was like, "Vexyz, if you were reading the manga, you would have already known the name by now if you want it." And he's like, "No,
dude,
I'll wait."
I gotta say, like the last 3 episodes of the anime have officially converted me.
The last episode was trash.
The way that Shibuya ended in the anime, like, it felt so lackluster. It felt rushed. What's up, Mr. Bushido? We're just talking about what we were watching and reading this past week. So obviously we got to cook on JJK for a little bit,
right?
But yeah, it's like the way that the season 2 of the anime started was so ridiculously strong with hidden inventory, and I was vibing for so much of the Shibuya incident and things like that. But the finale and even like the ending of the I knew it was gonna happen. But the
JJ, my daughter broke my headphones that I usually wear for the podcast, so I'm wearing her unicorn headphones that she uses when she has tablet time. Okay.
He's pulling it off.
Creature.
I'm pulling it off. I'm voguing.
The end of the Mahito fight, all the way up until like when they show Yuta, I was just like straight up, just like, what is this? Like, this is a departure. This is crazy. This does not. I don't know.
But that's how the manga just sets up too. It has such a weird shift. You go from having Shibuya and this amazing arc, and then all of a sudden it's like you're in Top Gear, and let's just downshift a second, and it just has a really weird vibe to it, because all of a sudden you're just reading Yuta, and it's like, what the hell?
Well, I think if I'm honest, that harsh break there after Shibuya, like the breakaway from what's going on, just to keep it vague for Vex, it really is like a real life traumatic event, though, because it happens and then it's over, and everyone else acts normal, and everything else moves on. Yeah. So, like, I think Gege actually captured that really well. But I can understand how frustrating. I haven't seen the anime yet. I'm only current with the manga. but I could see how frustrating the end of
Mr.
Shibuya would be.
Bushoda with a €2 super dono wants something good to watch. Has Been Hotel is so good. Let me tell you, man, I don't think I'm gonna watch that after my beautiful Nuxtaku told me about the wonderful controversies about making a $50,000 video for one simp. No.
That wasn't on my bingo card for 24.
Yeah, that wasn't on my bingo card.
No, I have
Hey, go check out our stream. No.
I have heard from a few people, like Cadenator, Bushido, and Fritz have been talking about it. It's just like I don't think it's something I'm going to get into. Like honestly, I've heard some buzz, and I've heard the controversy from Nugs Taku, Cody's Lord and Savior, but
Listen, he doesn't worship Nuxtaku. He is Nuxtaku.
Sometimes the spirit of Nux just takes over, and I can't stop him.
Oh my goodness. we need to get you a VTuber avatar, Cody. But no, like shout out to the Lonely Mage in the chat. What's good, brother? I saw your reaction.
Enemy theft is not a joke, Max.
But we gotta get you on, Lonely Mage, one of these times. You've been a long time supporter. We love seeing you in group 3 of One Piece D&D on Dire Regulus's channel every Saturday at 6 p.m. EST. ... Question mark. Lots of hope.
That is nuts. Cody, the shifty eyes.
That is crazy.
What?
What? He said, what? So what I read and watched this week.
Oh yeah, you go ahead, Lucas.
So I actually went back and reread all of Akira this week.
Oh man.
Leave me alone!
90s nostalgia right
well,
now.
if I'm being honest, because a lot of those things I haven't watched or read since I was like 13. Well, the movie of Akira, I watched that at least like once a year. But a lot of it I haven't consumed since I was younger, like 13, 14. So I reread the Akira manga, and I have to say, controversial take, 100% better than the movie. Like, the movie's amazing and masterpiece cinematography-wise and art-wise, but like, reading the manga is just a whole nother level.
Well, and the manga has the whole complete story with it too, right?
Yeah.
Like the anime movie takes its own ending, right?
Yeah.
Well, it
takes
has
liberties.
Yeah, it takes liberties. It has a very similar ending, but because the manga hadn't finished yet, the mangaka went with the studio and was like, "This is how I want you to do it," kind of thing. So he approved everything, but like the manga just expands so much. Like Akira is not even a character in the movie, really. He's a whole character from the first volume of the manga on. Like, as far as watching though, and I know Cody's gonna get hyped about this, and I think Rye Guy is too. I have been watching Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Oh, yeah. Let me get that grace.
I can hear
Shinji!
I can hear Goofy singing Cruel Angel's Thesis right now. That's so beautiful. Yo, we got a €5 super chat from Mr. Bushido 56. Said, LOL, just got here from the Nug stream. I've been reading Solo Leveling lately. That is also pretty good.
Mr. Bushido, I was literally gonna say, I'm not gonna watch Has Been Hotel. I'm gonna watch Nuxtaku watch it and tell me why it's the best thing ever made.
But I the last episode I watched of Neon Genesis was Magma Diver, where she goes into the lava and like tries to get the angel embryo out.
I was so scared that was where Asuka was gonna get done in. Yeah. Dude. Oh.
I have a fear of the deep ocean. So like her diving deep in there like 1,800 feet. I'm like, oh my.
And like Shinji, without even making a noise or anything, he can feel the lava on his skin, still reached in without a second thought and pull.
Right.
Like, what a character-defining moment.
Dude.
So have you watched? Now, here's my question. Maybe a hot take. Have you watched the movies?
No,
I have seen all of Evangelion. I have seen the OVAs. I have seen the end of Evangelion and all 4 rebuilds.
Oh, okay. I expect nothing less from you.
Neon Genesis is my favorite anime of all time. I'm not even shitting. Like that shit literally saved my life. It's so good.
Like I used to have multiple different angels that I got from like a bootleg store, and they were like my prized possessions, and then our house burnt down, and so I lost those. But oh my god, like Evangelion and freaking
Vex.
Escaflowne are just
Ooh.
My
Ooh,
God.
that's a
That's
deep
something I've
cut,
I was
heard
bro.
about.
literally just about to ask, like, what was everyone's favorite show from the 90s since we got Ryan here. But, like, you already got my favorite anime talking about that. Like, who has been your favorite character so far throughout all of Neon Genesis?
I want to know, because I watched the series when I was younger.
I gotta agree, Shinji.
Yeah,
Like, with
Shinji.
you on that one.
Whoa.
That's just
I
my-
watched
my
the
opinion.
whole series when I was about really young, like 10 or 11 when it was first coming out on Adult Swim. But I missed episodes here and there. So like when I was watching, I was telling Vex the other day, when I was watching it, I realized like I'd never seen the second episode. I'd never seen like the 5th episode. But so far, I'm really interested in what's going on with Rey. I wouldn't say she's my favorite character, but like I need to know why she is the way she is. I think I remember something about her being a clone of like Shinji's dad's lover or something like that. But I want to see it unfold actually. Like,
You know what? I actually got to correct. I'm probably not going to go Shinji. I got to actually, like, growing up, I really loved Kaworu.
Oh my god, Kaworu makes my heart tremble. He's the sweetest boy. Oh. I liked, oh my goodness. Kaji, I'm not even gonna lie. Kaji got with Miss Masato. Kaji was undercover trying to do the right thing. Like, Mr. Kaji.
Kaji was an OG, dude. He was the real one.
Kaji was my guy.
Oh. And like, let's not forget, Kaji's character design is, I think it's absolutely amazing.
I love
Like,
that you can
that
tell.
hair, just,
And like any other time, you can see him back in the time with Masato and Katsuragi. Dr. Katsuragi, I think her name is.
I like
Ritsu?
Katsuragi a lot too.
Yeah, Ritsu. I think.
you mean, or Akagi?
Yeah, Dr.
Akagi.
Akagi. Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, Ritsugo Akagi?
yeah, Ritsuko. Yeah, she's Whenever you go back in time and you can see those Polaroids of them, and you can see Kaji has his hair all nice and he's all shaved and like taking care of himself. And then in this present day, he's got that 5 o'clock shadow. His hair's always messy, and everyone always is commenting, "You really letting yourself go. You really look like a sleazeball." But in reality, he's like the most moral, like upstanding character.
Is that the guy that gets all handsy with what's her name in the elevator?
Yeah, he does. Hell yeah, he does.
Your mouth is saying no, but your lips said yes. I was like,
There's
whoa.
some very, like, oh, man.
This is definitely written in the 90s.
Miss
Masato,
Masato.
yeah, like-
Dude, like, so one of the things I got super lucky on this week was my wife. I was watching
My wife.
the show live action. My wife saw me watching the Yu Haka show, and she said, "Can I watch?" I said, "It's nice."
My wife.
But so no, like literally, I was watching the live action Yu, and my wife was interested. So I just finished it. Whatever. I'm not going to introduce her like that. So I put on the first 2 episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho, the animated, and she absolutely loved it. So now so this weekend, tomorrow, we're going to start the Dark Tournament, and we made it all. So, I'm excited. I ordered her some Tagoro sweatpants. I ordered her a whole bunch of like Yu shit to wear. Like she was actually interested. So I'm like right there with where Cody is and his mom. Like, dude, if she's interested, who am I to stand by and like, let's do this?
Yeah, me
And
and
I
my
was
wife
like, just take in Smile Bomb.
Yeah.
Take it in. Just take it in, baby.
We're watching the One Piece live action right now. We just finished episode 2 last night, so I'm really excited. It's our first experience with One Piece, really, besides hearing me obviously talk about it all the goddamn time. But I'm very excited to see. That's awesome, man.
Dude, it's crazy because like I figured she would be like a Kuwabara character lover, or maybe like a Yusuke, or a hey, how's it going? I'm Kuwabara, and I'm getting ready just to kick some butt here with my buddy Yusuke.
Are a tree, just as Kuwabara is a man, and when every man's time comes, you gotta face it, Urameshi. Here I come, Tagoro. Hey, Sweet Blade. I love
Mulberry is a tree. but Kuwabara is a man. It tastes like Kuwabara.
You gotta hit
No,
him with
but
this
it's
sword,
crazy
kid.
that she's a Yukina lover. She digs Yukina, and I'm like, it totally makes sense with her personality. I'm like, that's just super interesting. At first, she was digging Botan, so I was like, okay, she's definitely gonna like Yukina. And sure as heck, as soon as she's like, why are they making her cry? Like, what are they doing to her? She just fell in love with her at that. I'm just like, oh, dang.
Yukina.
Yeah.
I think like the moment that turned me into a Kuwabara stan was in the substitute Soul Detective arc, and when they're all him, Kurama, and Hiei are all trapped with the other guy, and Yusuke is just getting his shit walloped. Like, if I have to die so my friends get strong enough to save this world, then that's how it's gonna be. And Kuwabara screaming, "What's the point in having this power if I can't use it to save my friends?" Like that shit. I love that shit,
dude.
though.
It's
Like,
not only that, like him standing up to Togurux though, in the Dark Tournament, and like, oh,
Togura, you had the most Freudian slip of your life, brother. You did not say Toguro. I'm not gonna repeat the name you said, but you did not say Toguro.
oh my god, I know what I said now. Now I'm mad.
That's crazy.
I'm about to go harass it.
Typical American.
Typical American, right?
Bro, stop. Oh my god. That is insane. So yeah, I haven't checked out the live action. I know Lucas has checked out some of it, like but I've been hearing a lot of good things. Do you have any opinions on the buzz about the Avatar: The Last Airbender live action?
So you know what? Personally, I'm really excited about it. One of the big, so I don't know if you guys have heard, like one of the biggest changes that they're having to this is they're removing Sozin's comment.
What?
Okay,
No.
so well, and there's a reason behind it. And it's actually a good reason. So in the anime, you can have multiple seasons and nobody's gonna age. When the character, the young man that was cast to play Aang, when he was cast, he was 10 years old.
11.
Now he's 14. So realistically, by the time Sozin's comic gets here, he could be in his 20s. But so they're removing it, and I'm in that theory that it's an integral part of the anime, but I'm willing to see what they do without it.
From what I understood though, is that they're not removing it completely. It's basically, instead of giving it like, it's going to be here by this summer, it's going to be like, we don't know when it's coming, but it's coming, kind of thing. So it expands that time frame. But if they remove it completely, yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing what they're going to do instead, because that's like kind of the crux of the entire series.
Right? It's kind of like a big thing.
Yeah. Kind of huge there, my guy.
The more I go to look up to be all like, man, what else has come out about Avatar, the more scared I get. I don't want to keep hearing about it anymore. I just want to watch it and make my own opinion and then say it's trash.
I just like a hot topic for the past couple of like weeks, but especially in the past like day and a half, I've been hearing so much about it online. So I just had to ask.
I was telling you, Vex, last night, Twitter was popping off last night when with Totally Not Mark and Jeff going on about like all the stuff that was coming out like in real time. Grand Line Review and TNM, like they're over in the European based time. So like when they woke up, it was like I think we were like goofing at 3 a.m. or like just being goofy.
Just new boot goofing.
New boot goofing.
But every 15 minutes I would read a tweet. And I would be like, oh my gosh, I've never seen Totally Not Mark write paragraph on paragraph. Y'all got this man pressed.
I'm going to be honest. Let me ask you guys, when we talk about the live action Avatar, what style are you most interested in seeing? Like how it's done?
Waterbending.
Yeah, waterbending.
And I mean, that's going to be hugely present in book 1. And that's like one of my favorite things about book 1 is seeing Katara really come into her training and style and things like that of the Northern Water Tribe. And like, it's just so fluid. And like, there's a lot of different like martial arts styles that, like that bending is like modeled off of and things.
Yeah,
like
with
that.
like
and,
Tai Chi.
airbending is going to be dope, obviously. And there's like those cool, like Jackie Chan-esque fight scenes where you just see Aang just doing this crazy, like whenever that guy's blasting fireballs through the well and he's just like bending his body. Like, I don't know if they're gonna really be able to adapt that, but I think that waterbending is going to be extremely adaptable in my opinion.
Oh yeah. I think it's like you said, it's going to be definitely heavily present in that first one. You know, for me personally, I'm waiting because we know we're going to get a second season, but I'm excited to see Earthbending with Toph.
Absolutely.
I absolutely just love like that horse style, the stance, everything about it. So, and then just why can I not think of his name? The Earth Realm King, but it's not Boji. Boomy. Thank you. I have not said that name in forever.
Boji.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not Boji.
You got Luffy brain cells when he calls Bonnie Bogey right there.
Bogey.
So okay, that's like one of my character defects. My wife knows it. She calls it Walmarting things. Like I great value everything. Like I'll get to the ballpark of what I'm trying to explain, but I'll be like 2 degrees off. And it's just like, that's so my fault.
Yeah, at the end of this stream, he's going to be like, anyways, it's been so fun. Thanks for having me on the final boat. Like,
later, guys. hey, thanks for inviting me on Noah's Ark, man. You guys have a great one. I'll talk to you later.
I would actually like to go back before we continue on any more Avatar talk. Cody proposed an interesting question. I gotta know, what was everybody's favorite 90s anime?
Oh.
So I already know mine. I'll let you guys sound off. I already have my list.
I already sounded off. I don't think I have the right to go off about Evangelion again. But if we're not talking about anime, man, everyone knows how I feel about Batman Beyond. Like 90s cartoon.
Okay. So for me,
yeah, go ahead.
No, shoot, run it, X.
No, I always forget that Will Ferrell, or Will Fidel, is the guy that played Batman Beyond, and he's also the older brother on Boy Meets World. And it just 2 polar opposite characters. I'm like, okay, I guess that works.
Favorite 90s anime. I'm gonna go on a ledge here. And I'm gonna say King of the Hill. No, I'm sorry.
I knew that was coming.
We sell propane and propane accessories.
It's so hard for me to really like place it because I wasn't super big into, like, I was a 90s kid. I was born in 93, but like I was into like other shit up until like maybe around like the 2003 era. Of stuff started to come out, and so like for me, I didn't get too much. I watched a lot of Rurouni Kenshin. I watched a lot of like Inuyasha. I watched a lot of like I saw Yu Yu Hakusho, and it's probably gonna be a contender, except the last half or the second half just like is good, but it was just like a big fall off for me from the Dark Tournament specifically. But I guess as a safe answer, I'll say something that I've said before on Chadmirals. The first anime I ever watched from start to finish all the way through was Outlaw Star. And
nice,
it's still one of my absolute favorites. It's such an interesting story. I remember like literally falling asleep to Melfina's song like countless times. So I mean that's my safe answer. I would probably have to cook a little bit more and really think about it for me to, because like I said, I was more of like a 2000s kid whenever for anime. In the 90s I was watching like a bunch of other shit.
Yeah. I have a controversial choice that I think I don't think I've actually talked about on Chadmirals before, and that is Golden Boy.
Ooh, okay.
I know it's only about, I think it's 4 OVAs that make up the series of Golden Boy, but it's just it's one of the funniest animes, and if you guys have never watched it, you gotta watch it. Like, it is insanely funny. But if I don't say that, I've got to go with Vampire Hunter D, because it was my first anime. Like, it was the first one that I watched and was like, this is different than what I'm used to. Yeah, like the cinematography and animation of Vampire Hunter D just blew little 7-year-old Lucas, who had no business watching it, mind. Like, cannot get it
solid.
Yeah,
that's solid AF right there. So for like me, like my bag on it's deep right here, and like I've got some deep cuts, I've got some shallow ones, but like for me, definitely right out of the gate, we're talking Tenchi Muyo.
Oh yes, my
Oh,
man.
Tenchi
bro.
Muyo is always going to be at the top of my like top 20 for me, easy.
What's her name? The chick, the tiger chick. I always forget her full title. It's like, but like that is like so goated. Like
It's ridiculous.
That's a
Like,
deep pull for me. I haven't seen that shit in so long. I'm trying to remember her name.
So then now we'll get like one step deeper. We'll start going into the 7 layers right here, the seven circles. Basilisk.
Ooh.
If you love Ninja Scroll, you need to watch Basilisk. It is easily, probably, in my opinion, one of the greatest love stories. Like it's like a weird take on like Romeo and Juliet / ninjas and samurai. It is amazing. The first episode, like the first 10 minutes, just cook. It's a must watch.
Is that the one with the dude with the blue hair and he's like a samurai?
Oh God, I want to not Genju, not Junbei. Fuck. So I'm trying to think in the Koga or the
I just remember a guy with blue hair and I think like a chick with red hair or another guy with.
God.
I haven't seen
Yeah,
that since I was like young.
So definitely got to go there. Ninja Scroll. But then even
bro.
for me, like because I'm a football lover, I got to go Ice Shield 21.
I've heard a lot of good about that. I've never watched it, but I heard it's like one of the best sports animes out there.
Okay, well, no, so there are better ones. Like, I mean, Hajime no Ippo is definitely a standout.
Ippo is
Blue Lock is amazing. Even is it Hakuye, the volleyball one?
Haikyuu. And I was speaking of Ice Shield 21. Did you know that the artist who drew the manga for that is Yusuke Murata, the same artist for One Punch Man?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, I think I made a stitch to your TikTok about that. That's crazy, Lord.
That's how I learned about it. So definitely like Ice Shield 21 was really, really cool. Not just a different take on it. But then, I mean, we've got our normal ones like Gundam. I'm an 83 kid.
Gee,
So I grew up with
Wings.
Robotech. I grew up with Gundam. I grew up with like absurd stuff that like I didn't even realize were animes back in the day. Like, let's be honest, like Thundercats is technically an anime. Like Transformers is an anime. Like I grew up with all of these things, but like even 90s kid like Ninja Scroll, Henshin, Basilisk, Gundam.
Ranma.
Oh God, yeah, Renma. Renma, was it Renma 1.5 or something?
It's 0.5 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Ranma half. It's
Half. Okay.
There are
But
just
no, like,
amazing ones, but even like for me,
Full is
it's
such a
not.
pull.
I don't even know if
like-
you could technically call it an anime, but like Todd McFarlane's Spawn on HBO.
dude on HBO. You can because it was
Yes.
made by a Japanese animation studio.
It was
Professional.
absolutely phenomenal. But even then, I remember the first time, like my first real anime was technically not Spirited Away, was Kikyo's Special Delivery.
Oh
And
yes.
I was just blown out of the water. I had never seen something that was like literally beautiful. Like it was beautiful to watch. And then I started finding out about like Howl's Moving Castle and all the other Ghibli movies and yeah.
You gotta shout out Will of Dreams real fast. He said Fist of the North Star in the Street Fighter movie.
Oh,
Which,
I love
oh
that.
my god.
No Pen, and I
yes.
cannot wait for the remake coming out soon. Like,
Dude, Omeo wa Mashindaru? Like, I was
I'm
10
just
years old
excited
walking around just yelling that at people.
Kenshiro all day.
Kinshiro all day. You just
I
said,
just
wait,
want to hear that.
did he say there's a remake?
yeah,
That's it.
The remake is. I think I heard about it through Ryan actually on one of his TikToks, but they're going to be remaking Hotoku no no Ken.
Yeah,
That's
they're going to
insane.
be. I think they're going to be staying true to the story, to the source. But they're going to be definitely updating the colors and a bunch of the stuff with it.
Yeah, they're about to do that with Akira as well. They announced it back in like 2018 or 19, so we should be getting something about it soon. But they're doing the whole manga series.
You know what? Like I'm in the school of theory. Don't touch Akira. Just leave Akira alone. Like, well, because like the biggest thing is like when my wife saw Akira for the first time, I didn't tell her that was made in the 80s.
Really?
I did not even ask. I did not tell her that this is what 1982 or 1981, 80. I did not tell her that.
Yeah, 88.
88.
The movie, yeah, it was 88.
So I didn't even tell her that. And then when the credits are rolling, she sees everything and she's like, she thought it was made in like 2000, 2005-ish.
Wow.
And I'm like, and so that's where we get the idea. Like they came up with, I think it was 30 plus colors that never existed just for the Akira movie.
Yep.
Like it's like, honestly, it's kind of like a landmark. Like just don't.
It was the first anime film to come to America, and it was the first manga to ever be translated fully into English and brought to America. It is a monument. I can understand not wanting to touch it, but at the same time, as somebody who is a huge fan of the manga, especially now that I've reread it, and reconsumed it, and even like going to the nostalgia, I really want to see that story play out on the screen.
And I get that. It's that same idea with like Full Metal Alchemist. If we were just fine with it, we never would have gotten Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I get that. Just wanting like a true translation.
I mean, imagine if Inuyasha ended the way it did and we never got the final act. I would be very upset if the story ended with them just like, oh, we're going to keep facing Naraku at every turn. Ha!
Right.
Like,
I have not watched all of Inuyasha.
What?
But that's how I also feel about like Berserk. Like now that the creator's dead, like we're never going to get like the actual like ending to Berserk. We're going to get somebody's variation of what it should be.
Yeah.
Because he never thought he was going to die like that, and so he never took precautions how Togashi did.
But didn't he tell his friend the
but here's the thing, it's not in like full detail. It would be like me or Cody telling you something and then you advocating and doing your best in our wishes, but it's never going to be his final version. It's going to be somebody's interpretation of his final version, and that's just like the saddest thing. And that very well could happen with Togashi with Hunter x Hunter.
Nah, he's got his wife on lock. I'm not scared.
Oh, it's the other way around. She's got her husband on lock.
Did you read the proposed ending? Like it was like the D list. Like he's like, I got an A plan and a B plan and a C plan.
Set up countermeasures.
Yeah, but he's just like, but if I don't live to be able to pull any of those off, this is what you're gonna get. And like he hit us with the D team, and I'm not even gonna lie, I was so upset. Oh my god.
I will say, because I recently and Cody, by the way, I did see that look you gave me.
Yo, I'm just saying, like that means you never watched the final act or Yashahime. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I still haven't watched Yashahime. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god, the payoff is so good. The payoff in Yashahime. If you're a fan,
I thought it was pretty neat.
It's really good. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
But what I was gonna say is that because I recently caught up to Berserk, I had read up to the Infantasia arc when it was coming out, and then when it went on hiatus again, I just stopped reading. And I just recently, like, what was it, Cody? Like 3 weeks ago, I read the rest of it, and reading that chapter, dude. And it was Miora's friend, and it was like the perspective of him at Miora's funeral. Oh my god, I was sitting there crying in bed. But I think that they did fairly well with adapting Miora's art style with the chapter.
Oh, they definitely did a great job.
Yeah. So I'm going to be glad that we'll get at least some semblance of an ending. But I do understand, like that is hard to know that we will not get the full layout of what Miura had planned. Especially since he literally died like 2 chapters after Casca got her memory back.
I know, it's hard. It sucks.
Yeah.
Just again, like they're doing a good job, but like when you read past it, you start recognizing that there's not a lot. Let me rephrase that. You recognize that there's just some like tonal shifts, and it's like somebody there is afraid to like now take risks that Miura would have normally taken, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like they're trying to take a safe route because like the current chapters are good to read. They're great. They're very insight heavy and they're very informative. But as when you read and you actually look at like the fight panels, it's like they're lacking something. It's like they're lacking, for better words, like they're lacking heart. It's like heart of, literally like the heart of the series died with them. And yeah, they've got the body, they've got the berserker armor, and it's just willing that body to go.
Yeah,
but it's missing something.
I think it's understandable to play it safe after a situation like that, because there will be like people who are coming out of the woodwork to say like it's not the same, this is that, and nitpick and gripe about any risk that is taken, and any sort of like thing that anyone can even paint as like a negative, they will, even if it's not. So I understand
any narrative that they can pull, they will. I get that.
Go ahead, Cody. Sorry.
I think that after his passing, a lot of these chapters that have happened afterwards, also, as someone who's consumed Berserk in like a very short amount of time, these chapters that have come out recently are much, much shorter. And I understand, but I mean, we're going from like also like 40 pages a chapter to we're getting maybe 8 to 10 to 12 sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
the average is about like 12.
Yeah, so I mean, if you include the double page spreads that we're getting, and also where we are narratively at the story, where we're winding down at the end of this arc and setting up to the new one, I think we just have to give them a little bit more time to get into the flow and feel of things. And with this last chapter that just came out, the setup feels so good. Like, I have the utmost faith in them. I have the utmost faith after reading Koji's statement and saying how this story meant so much to him as well, and how he doesn't want to betray his best friend's work. I
loved when I read that. Like definitely, Koji's going to be hopefully the saving grace here. And I'm going to consume it. I'm going to be a fan till the day it finishes. And I really genuinely hope, like, my heart of hearts is that we see an end to it. Like, Guts out of every character, I think deserves an ending more than anybody. So even if it's a horrible ending, he deserves something.
Absolutely. I think with the studio and all of the love that everyone's put in throughout the years, doing that manga, doing that story, living that life, I feel that they have the capabilities to at least finish it and give us an ending that everyone will be satisfied with, and that even I think Miura himself would say, if I couldn't do it myself, this would be the next best thing.
Right. Like, you know what? And that's it. Like, carry on the will of fire.
That's it. That's right.
That's it right there.
So what other manga have you been consuming that you like? We got to give Lucas 5 minutes for a phone call, so I got to stretch this out.
So for me, honestly, definitely One Piece. Not even gonna try and play that.
Who likes One Piece? What's that about?
You know what? Hey, it's kind of what us hipster kids have been, reading. It's real low key right now.
Did you say the single part? Never heard of it. No.
Yeah, no. See,
did you hear about the two guns?
Huh?
That is crazy. But no,
run it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, about One Piece, since we are like kind of like a One Piece channel in the One Piece community and stuff like that. Like, I want to know how you're feeling about everything like on Egghead so far, and like, what are your thoughts on, like, because we were talking about it in a recent stream. Do you think we're leaving Egghead like in the next 5 chapters, 15, 20, or like what are you? How much longer do you think we're staying in the incident, especially knowing what happens in 1106?
So I think, all right, so definitely we're going to have at least 2 chapters to explain what's going down currently, just to attach. So we're going to get to 1108 easy, but I'm going to say maybe 10 chapters, maybe 8 to 10 chapters. We'll probably be heading off Egghead by the next 10. But yeah, I'm really curious to see where this is going to play out, because I have an idea. And so if that actually plays out, it might even go to 15 chapters.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we get. I honestly hope we get like enough time for it, and like there's so many things that still need to be kind of like figured out, and like there's a lot of like. I was just talking with Polly Pete on the Rose Skull podcast about like Chekhov's guns kind of, and like MacGuffins, and just like this is an island full of them, just full of them.
Right, tons of Chekhov's guns.
Even if we don't get like a resolution on all of those right away, like even if we only get half, I still think that like if we give it the attention that it deserves, because I think Oda is an artist who learns from like progression and his previous efforts and things like that. Now, I won't say that Post Wano was a mistake, but I think it's pretty common to say it was rushed. It was very rushed. Yeah. I really hope that whatever we get as far as an ending to Egghead is not rushed. I'm hoping for at least 20 more chapters, but that's just me. Like people think we're leaving soon. Somebody said we're leaving in like less than 5 chapters, and I was like, I don't know, man.
Well, because like without spoiling anything, like with the 2 theories I have for the first one to pan out, and I think that it might, like I'm probably 78% sure it's going to be at least 4 chapters for that. And then you got to have a wind down for it. So there's 2 more chapters. But I think that if you give it 10 to 15 chapters, I think, like you said, there's a lot of smoking guns out there. There's a lot of smoking guns. And then here's the other thing. There's a couple red herrings, and they're trying to distract you from things. And I think that, like you were saying, Vex, like a lot of loose ends need to be tied up right now. And I'm really hoping, just like you are, that they don't rush it. I hope that they give it Oda gives it the proper send off that it deserves before we start heading into Elbath.
Yeah, I agree. Real quick, just shout out to Polly P Works. I was literally I summoned you. I was just speaking on you, but he's in the chat. Go ahead, Cody. I'm sorry.
You've activated my trap card.
Do you think that within the 10 chapters, let me rephrase this. I think within the next 10 chapters, the Straw Hats will leave Egghead. I don't know if our narrative focus will shift away from Egghead, though, and I'm wondering if Blackbeard's crew or someone else is going to come and, like, mess up this island. Like, I feel like there's still so much that hasn't happened, and, like, an event that shakes the world. I'm still wondering what that could be. Do you have any ideas on what that could be?
I have a pretty good idea what that event that's going to end up shaking the world is. I have a weird thought that Blackbeard is going to end up showing up on the island, because for the longest time, we've seen every other Blackbeard pirate other than Divina Catalina and frickin' the mime, Lafitte. We have not seen those 2 in probably like 400 chapters. So I've had this theory for going on like 3 months now that at Egghead, Lafitte has already been at Egghead, and that he's Hiyori, Lucci's pigeon.
Hattori.
Yeah, Hattori, and then Divina is definitely there. But I have this idea that the event that shakes the world is Saturn is going to be absorbed. Saturn is going to be absorbed. Something's going to happen with Blackbeard, and because that's the only thing I can think of. Or Egghead is going to be erased off the map by the Mother Flame.
Did I just come back to some One Piece?
No.
What is One Piece?
No.
What are you talking about?
Are you talking about Two
I haven't
Guns?
heard of that.
Wait, but now I'm curious. Speak of this. What is, you called it a one pieces?
I believe vexyz people call it the one.
They're called Reese's Pieces.
Down here in the West Tribe, we call it the piece of one. Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, Reese's
that's crazy,
Pieces.
but
No,
Cody, I know you absolutely love the Blackbeard taking down Saturn theory, because you've been on that for a minute now on that like, but I love that. Yeah, I think that there's definitely, it's gotta happen sometime soon. Like there's It's so crazy. If the giants show up before, like, and we saw them, that we saw like Blackbeard ship, one of Blackbeard's ships, like how many chapters ago now? Like that is crazy in my opinion.
Or like this is a stretch, and this one actually applies to you, Vex, because with us being introduced to what is it, Betty, the clone of
Betty?
Oh, Stussy.
Yeah,
Stussy.
Stussy.
Yeah.
That.
My
What
queen.
about if that event is the introduction of the Rocks clone?
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
That is the
That's
only
ever-
thing, because remember, the world does not know about rocks.
Yeah.
So what if the
S
introduction? Oh,
S Pebble.
we'll call him gravel.
Gravel.
Oh my
Bag,
god.
bag of rocks. Small bag of rocks.
No, I do have to shout out the shipwright of the last arc. He pointed this out to me. There was a stream we did about 3 months ago, right? Where we were talking about Kuma's flashback. It wasn't 3 months ago, probably like 2 months ago. We were talking about Kuma's flashback. It had just started. And this dude called out, he's like, I guarantee that Kuma still has a semblance of his will and will stand up to Saturn. I'm going to get Fritz to send it in the group chat, but like, yeah. He predicted that shit. And I'm sorry. Proud Papa mode. Like, because I got him into One Piece. So like, it's just, I feel so good. But yeah, with the Blackbeard thing, I can totally see, like, someone drew a picture of him with Saturn's Devil Fruit, and it's like, that fits his body type just so well.
Just
And,
like warning though, if Saint J does get taken down here, I want you all to know, like, imagine being built up for like 25 years in the story to get taken out in your first arc. I'm slandering this man to death, dude. If Saint J gets taken out in his first arc, there's no way to stop.
Well,
That's
so
crazy.
I've had this theory that Saint J, the rest of the Gorosei none of them are human. They are all devil fruits that have eaten human fruits.
Well, Lucas
Well,
has
they
a
are all
different kind of
legit
theory that
Yeah,
they
they're
aren't
legit
humans at
devils.
all.
Yeah, I
No.
think they're devils. I think they're legitimately devils.
They're
Like,
legit like devil fruits. Like, why
Yeah.
do you think we have devil fruits?
Well,
So
you know how
there's got to
in-
be devils that had those
in that-
powers. So
I think it's one of the first explanations of devil fruit. Oda drew this little panel, right? And it was literally like a devil soul with inside of the fruit. I think
Right.
they are the souls that go inside the fruit.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so
it's-
I don't even think like Blackbeard would have to beat him. I think
Yeah.
it would just be
Just
like
absorb him.
absorbing.
Yeah.
Just walk up and absorb a fruit. You know.
That would be
Crazy.
wild.
It's like-
You could just imagine
I-
Blackbeard walking up and being like, "Zah!"
Yeah.
Sitting on his-
Well, you
Sucking
gotta
him in.
think about it. Nice. Yeah, you gotta think about it though. Like, if we are in the place where we're seeing like more awakenings and things like that, like what would the awakening of Teach's fruit be? And I'm still not convinced that it's a Logia, but like, I mean, even if it is, like, this is the point in the story where we might be seeing Logia awakenings.
Right.
I've
Well,
been
and then
cooking
that-
on Blackbeard's fruit.
Right.
But,
Well, and then that attaches with the three faces. We've only seen 2 devil fruits from him. He needs to have a 3rd devil fruit because the whole theory behind Blackbeard is there's 3 people inside of him.
Yeah. Or
He's
3
missing
hearts or
3
something like that.
Yeah, he's missing 3 teeth. His teeth shift between 1
Yeah.
missing, 2 missing, and 3 missing. Luffy's already said that there's multiple. His Jolly Roger is 3 pirate faces. Everything with him is in 3s. 3 bottles of booze, 3 pistols, 3 bandoleros, 3 bandanas, 3 belts.
3 blind
So-
mice. No,
You're
sorry.
right.
He,
But so
he
it's
also
like
to fit the Gorosei, like whatever Saturn is, if like the whole spider aspect though, his Jolly Roger does have 8, like the skull and crossbones. There's like 8 protruding like things out. So like that.
yeah,
That's interesting.
almost look
as
like
well.
legs.
Mm.
Right. And then so
Octopus,
even
yeah.
then imagine like what the repercussions of that look like. Like whatever we want to call Saturn and his devil fruit or whatever that is, along with the Gura Gura no Mi on top of the Yami Yami no Mi. That's just ridiculous. And then
Yeah,
it totally
menacing.
fits the dark fruit. You know, because like Vex pointed out, like we are going to be seeing like awakenings are the new standard. So what, and we have to have Blackbeard's awakening. Everybody else that we have seen an awakening, Kid, Law, Luffy, Lucci, Kaku.
Mhm.
So why would 2 B team players get an awakening, but an A tier player like Blackbeard doesn't have it yet? You know?
Yeah, because he potentially could awaken the 2 devil fruits that he has now and his.
So he could have 3 awakenings.
Yeah, 3 awakenings. Would he get 3 ribbons then?
That makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, like
or is he able to shift his awakenings as he wants to go between the Guranomi awakening, the Yami no Mi, or whatever Saturn's is awakened? You know?
Deebus, I like that. He said Blackbeard's thing is 3s. He'll come in 3rd for the One Piece right after Luke Buggy. And
I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good one.
That's Cody's man y'all are slandering right there.
I think Blackbeard is definitely going to show up on Egghead, though. I think it's pretty much cemented. I mean, Shanks at every other turn has been trying to stop Blackbeard, as we saw before the events of Useless Captain Mid happened. Shanks was already trying to find Teach's whereabouts, and I mean, Teach is on the hunt for, like, crazy, cool, good devil fruits. We know a whole day has passed because Luffy and the crew had to spend a day up in the stratosphere. Or Labosphere. I think it's crazy to assume that, like, if the allies of Shanks's, like, crew, like, of that island are there, maybe Shanks is holding off Blackbeard at this moment, and we're actually, like, maybe we're off-screening Shanks. That would be neat. I'd like that.
So
Get
do
this
we
rat out of here. Get this.
So with everything that's happened to 1106, do we think that the red hair pirates are close behind?
I do.
I think they're going for Lafto. I don't think Dory and Brogy are necessarily part of Shanks's crew because they lead their own crew. They're the giant pirates. I think they may have some kind of alliance with Shake or like agreement with him. I definitely don't think they're together.
So do you think that's going to be our segue into Elbaf? Is them trying to ferry the Straw Hats off of Egghead?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's because on my bingo card, I actually put down that Dory and Brogy will train Usopp on Elbaf. And someone said, I don't see that happening, but guess what, Vex? It looks like it might happen now.
Well, so I have this weird feeling. I did a video on it earlier this week is, okay, so what is Frankie's dream?
To make a ship that'll sail the world.
Yeah.
To be the world's greatest shipbuilder, to build the ship that can travel the 7 seas.
Yeah.
So what if, with the activation of that suit of armor, what happens if that is our segue into the Thousand Sunny actually becoming almost like a 1,000 Sunny Megazord?
Yeah, didn't you make a TikTok on this recently?
Yeah, I did that video on it talking because that's one of the theories and it only makes sense. We've seen the literal evolution of Frankie's body through part 1 to part 2. We've seen it in the battle Frankie. We've seen it in the general Frankie. We've seen it in everything. Why would it not make sense that the 1,000
My favorite piece of evidence that you brought in that video, and I know Bex was going to love this, is in Thriller Bark with the pirate docking.
Yeah,
boy.
Like that is foreshadowed so hard.
Yeah, and trying to get Robin to dock.
Like Nico Robin's like, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. And then now there sets up the whole thing of like, Nico, like get in the right arm. No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, it's like get in.
She's like my shame as a human or some shit. Like no, but like the thing is, you listed the evolution that we've seen so far, and I think that the most pivotal point of evidence is the evolution that we've seen of his bounty posters, and that it literally shows the Sunny as his bounty right now. Like
he literally the robot
Frankie. Yeah, so I think that that was like a comment. We saw that on a couple of our bingo cards in the bingo stream that people really want. Like, and Oda also specifically stated like before he wrote One Piece, he really wanted to write like a mecha and a mecha like a story. So I love that. I think it's absolutely bound to happen. And this was like the arc where I was like sure it was going to, except really not sure how much time we have left with Stella at this point. But
facts.
Like it's crazy.
It's just it's interesting, and I hope they don't slug this out. I really hope they don't slug out like Egghead. Like 30, 35, 40 chapters. I hope it's brief and we're just getting out of here quick, man. I don't have a half year to do this.
Give me 100 more chapters of Egghead. Let's make it. Let's get there, boys. Let's
Now,
do it. No,
I predicted that it's gonna end in about 50.
Like,
Because I think we're at the beginning of the climax now.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, we still have like there's been like incidents and climaxes in arcs that have taken like 20 to 30 chapters before. I don't think it's unheard of that we're gonna get. I don't know if we're actually going to see Elbaf in 2024, just because if Oda is taking it slower and doing about 31 chapters like he did in 2023.
Yeah,
I don't know how much of like the actual next island we'll get, because I really do want him to take his time.
Yeah,
right.
I'd rather
and then here's the thing: like, if you set up Elbaf right, there's a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up in Elbaf, and you, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, Elbaf is probably gonna be our second longest arc behind Wano. Like, this thing is gonna be brutal. Like, Elbaf, I'd say probably has to be easy 150 to 250 chapters.
Really?
I hope so.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest, like, because remember, Oda said he's trying to be done within 5 years.
Yeah, 2027, 2028, I think is.
So I'm right there with Vex, but like, there's things that we still need to do at Elbaf. Like, the biggest thing is we need Pluton.
Yeah,
we need Pluton. We have Uranus. We have Poseidon. We need Pluton, and so the way that we're going to get there, and my theory is with the Prince Loki.
Yeah,
that Prince Loki
Uranus
for
will be
Elbaf.
revealed on Elbaf.
Right. I have this theory that he's going to be the main connection between us getting Pluton, and I think Pluton is going to be something that we're definitely not expecting. But that's the last big 3 that we need to wrap up there before we get into like the true final battle.
Yeah,
you know,
and
in
like
Elbaf.
the history of the Void Century and everything. Yeah,
and then and then even there. Remember, there's this theory that we might not even see Elbaf. Like, there's a theory that anybody that has a devil fruit will not be on Elbaf, because if you remember when when the gold pirates were going, the person that had the devil fruit buggy got sick when they got close to Laftel.
Yeah.
And so there's this whole theory that if you have a devil fruit, you can't get to that island. It won't allow you on it. It'll keep you off that island. So yeah, and so we very well may see the final battle at the end of Elbaf, and then a segue into like Nami, Frankie, Usopp, Jinbei, ones that don't have devil fruit powers actually getting onto Laftel, or any of the other pirates throughout what we've seen that don't have devil fruit powers.
Yeah, I can see that. One thing that always troubled me about that with Roger, I know this is kind of going off topic here, is Shanks or Buggy and Toki got sick because they didn't close enough. So does Shanks and them though? Do they know the general proximity of Laftel? Because like, they were almost there when Buggy started getting sick. So like, do they know like kind of where it is? Like,
you know what? They've never really confirmed that, because like, Shanks has never said anything about a log pose. He's never asked about anything like that. There's never been any mention of like Goldie Roger's journal or anything that's actually been marked. Shit, we don't even have a map. Like, we have a general idea of what Laftel is and where it might be. We just know it's at the end. That's it. Like, but no, I genuinely don't even think he was thinking about that.
Well,
he was just
we don't even know that it's at the end. We know that Lodestar is at the end, and Lodestar was where you needed to go to figure out about the road poneglyphs, and then you need to go turn around, find them, and then they'll point to where Laftel is. But that doesn't mean that, like, it's so, I don't know. And the thing is with Shanks, and this is gonna tie into what I was gonna say earlier whenever he was mentioning, like, or when we were talking about are the red hair it's inbound on Egghead right now? I think absolutely not, because with him saying like it's time to get the One Piece, like, what has he been doing this whole time since, other than just like kind of gatekeeping like the final, like the whole end game and things like that, and keeping anybody from making more progress than he has, I would say, or that he could, until he got to this point for whatever reason. And we know that in the journal, it was like there was the quote in Odin's notebook. There was like "You are the moon, unaware of the dawn" and stuff like that. And he's talking about like, somehow there's prophetic visions like with Charlie and things like that, where people knew that they were too soon or like this or that or yada yada and whatever. Shanks knows it's time to get into gear now. My theory is that he was at Elbaf trying to quell wars and keep peace politically, maybe. And now he's just like, well, time to dip. And now the state of Elbaf is in turmoil. And Shanks is like, well, that sucks because I'm going to go get the One Piece. And this is going to be what slows the Straw Hats down, because the Straw Hats are like, if Dory and Brogy are going to get, I don't think they're going to save the Straw Hats. I think they are going to get the Sun God to help save Elbaf.
Yeah. Well, and I've even heard about that too, because like, think about it, like all the giants do are fight. So there's very few giants left on Elbaf. There's been this whole discussion that they're literally like, Elbaf is less of a home of the giants now. It's a metaphorical land of the giants because they once lived there, but now it's more like a port town because there's the only 3 giants we've really heard of that are legit on Elbaf are that wherever there are Big Mom, Loki, Dory, and Brogy. That's it. Like,
Big Mom's not even an actual giant. She's
no.
Girl.
She's just recognized, being a giant girl, not an actual giant. And so I agree with Vex there that they're not going to help. I think that they're going to kidnap Luffy and take him to Elbaf, and that will be our segue of like, if they get, because I've had this idea that Luffy is the sun, Blackbeard is the moon. I think that the ultimate weapon, Pluton, runs off both of them. So actually, Blackbeard is going to be captured as well. And almost both of them are going to be used as like a negative and a positive charge to run this weapon.
I don't think Blackbeard is the moon. I've had this theory cooking that I think Blackbeard is actually the darkness that the sun god created, and it's its own entity entirely, almost of its own mythological figure. Because we've seen that the shadow fruit and the concept of shadows exists, and you can't create a shadow without the light shining down on something to obscure it to make that shadow. And I mean, Luffy and Blackbeard's devil fruits look so similar already to me that it was like, they have to be 2 sides of the same coin.
Well, think about it. What happens when the sun shines on the moon? The shadow goes to the back, so that's where we get the dark side of the moon.
Well, see, I think...
and so, like, they have to be 2 sides of the same coin.
See, I think opposite, actually. I think Emu and Luffy are 2 sides of the same coin. I think Emu represents the moon, and Blackbeard represents the eclipse. Whether that be solar or lunar, like... What do you get when the moon overshadows the sun? You get the shadow, or the sun goes over the earth. You get the shadow over the moon. Blackbeard eclipses Emu. I don't know. It's a weird parallel because all 3 of them really parallel each other, even with the little bit of information that we with Emu. If I'm being honest, I think Emu is probably the thing I'm most fascinated about because like we have no idea where they are. Yeah,
I'm just curious. I'm here's the thing with Emu. I'm more curious. I'm less curious about the actual story attached to him or her, whatever that is. I'm more curious to see the race. I want to see what race Emu is. That's where my brain goes. Is because I'm like, they're too thin to be a giant, but they're not a Lunarian. I just want to know.
Yeah.
I need to see Long-Nosed Tribe. That's what I need to see right now. Like,
there we go.
Emus of the Long-Nosed Tribe.
Yeah, Usopp gets his final get back for his tribe. The generational trauma ends today.
Let's go, bro.
We don't know Usopp's full name. Oh my God, it's Norona Usopp.
You know what? Like, and okay, this is something I am genuinely hoping that when we go to Elbaf, I hope nothing more than we see not Usopp God, but Sogeking make a final return for a prolific entrance. Like we have it's like when we get to Elbaf, like we all know that is going to be Usopp's arc. That is going to be his bag right there. He's going to get a power up. He's going to get something, whether it's the his actual activation of his observation hockey or whatever, but he's getting something, and I would love to see Soga King make a comeback.
I know, it's so weird. He showed up in Innie's lobby and just never.
That's it.
It's wild.
Bro.
Yeah, and like I would love for it
He's in
just
your
to be like
heart.
a quick thing of like, why do you have this mask in your bag? Oh, what are you talking about? And just never talk about it again. You know,
So,
but
a friend of the channel, Star Knight Andy Lex, has a theory that the mask itself is exactly like that. It's like the mask, like the old Jim Carrey movie, and like it's like it literally is like wholly autonomous and takes over his like. I don't know where he got the idea that Usopp wears this mask. That's crazy, but that's his theory. You know, like
I dig it. As a '90s kid, I'll get behind that. But genuinely, I could agree to a certain extent on that, because when somebody wears a mask, it gives you a little bit more freedom, confidence, self-esteem to do and say things you might not have done if somebody could see your face.
Yeah.
So I could see like Usopp getting a whole new personality just by putting on this simple mask, almost like a placebo effect.
Yeah.
Hey, if you put this mask on, you're going to be the greatest sniper in the world, and you just believe it, you know. And so I think that's his way of actually just getting that confidence. But like, I find that hilarious that it's the mask, like Jim Carrey style. That's funny.
Well, weird
cool.
that you brought up the mask, Vex, because I was talking with somebody earlier about the live action, and I straight up was like, if they get to Gear 5, they're going to do it Jim Carrey in the mask.
They have to.
Have to.
Well, so now that, okay, so there's another theory that now that Bonnie knows, she can now impart Nika powers to the rest of the Straw Hats.
Ooh.
Because remember,
Like
the only reason she couldn't hold that Nika form is because she can't realize it.
Yeah.
Like, you can realize a baby, you can realize an old person. She's only heard stories about Nika from her father, and seen a picture of the moon and him jumping. That's it. But now that they've actually made the connection that this is who he is, she can actualize that and be like, okay, I can interpret that. Like, I can physically see it with my own eyes.
So you think we'll get a moment like we did in Naruto when they were fighting Jubito,
Yes.
and all of them had the Naruto Kyuubi cloak around
Could you
them,
just
even Rock Lee. Yeah.
Could you just imagine all the Straw Hats that don't have
loading a Gear
all of
5
the Straw
Island
Hats
punch? Oh my god,
that
I
have
would
the
cry.
Awaken ribbon, like
Usopp
Frankie with an
actually.
Awaken ribbon, and like white hair instead of his blue hair, or Usopp with like a white bandana on and the ribbon. Nami wearing like a cloud top.
Be pretty
Yeah,
sick.
Like dope.
Shout
dope
out
stuff.
to Miguel and Jose in the chat. Both said, bringing up that the mask in the Jim Carrey movie mask is from Loki as well. Ties to
shout out to
Elbath.
my OPU crew. I recognize you guys. It's your boy Vex. We respect that. Thank you for coming through, guys. Make sure you like the stream. But
Like the stream.
yeah, I was gonna say shout out to both of them. Like, literally, I was just like that's exactly what I was gonna bring out. We're like mind roping right now, Lucas. But
Deo, no, not that one.
Oh god, we don't talk about that one, Dow.
No. That's
Oh
a
my
no-go
goodness.
for me.
I got a new movie
I
to
didn't
watch
even know
tonight.
that one existed until like
No,
3
Cody.
years ago.
If you thought Dragon Ball Evolution was bad.
I don't know. After this new Avatar series, I might think it's a faithful adaptation.
Oh my god.
Bro.
Never again.
That's crazy. But no, I was gonna mention, because like you said, Ryan, that we all know that, you know, Elbaf is going to be Usopp's arc and things like that, and I can definitely agree with that speculation. I think it's pretty safe, but we also thought it was really safe to speculate that Egghead would be a very Frankie heavy arc, and though we have seen him a few times in recent chapters, we haven't gotten like that payoff. So my question is, do you think that if the Stella does not do too well with the way that this chapter went, you know, and like moving forward, do you think that if the like my thought process is that if he is, you know, on the Fritz, shout out to Fritz, but if he's messing up somehow, or if he's struggling to stay alive, are the satellites going to be, you know, competent and coherent themselves as well? If they aren't, what if Frankie is like the one who has to like be the guy, like to make Egghead not go kaboom or something like this. We could still get. Do you think we're still gonna get like some like big Frankie moments because of the fact
cooking.
that he's like that's my job. I'm head cook here, brother. But I think
hey, I had not even thought about that, but with so much like okay, we talk about one of those Chekhov smoking guns. One of the biggest smoking guns is why do they keep talking about these command chips?
Yeah.
Why is this such an important thing? They haven't just referenced it once, not twice, but like 10 times they have referenced these command chips and who has priorities. So Vex, there might be our Frankie heavy thing. What happens if Vegapart imparts a chip into Frankie, basically upgrading him, giving him all of the knowledge and access of Egghead's brain?
Yeah,
making him
Satellite Frankie, or even just giving him the knowledge of punk records like Vegapunk wants to do with the whole world. Because I think
he could somehow figure out how to use technology like the satellites. He could operate the Frankie Shogun like with his mind, and then we could have 2 fighters instead of 1. He could make the Sunny into a giant mech.
Oh my god!
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. That's how we could get the mech too.
Oh, so if he does go mech,
crazy.
Frankie literally has his own Power Ranger team.
Yeah.
It'd be like the 6 paths of Frankie, and he he just docks with himself. Like,
dude, and see now that could make perfect sense. So because I've had an idea that one of the Gorosei is going to end up having a giant fruit. Like I don't even know like how you want to phrase it, but one of them is going to end up being huge. And it's even same ballpark with what's his face that can has the island fruit.
Oh.
Yes.
No, that's not San
Juan. Sand Wolf definitely, but
Avalo Pizarro has the island.
Yeah.
Like if Pizarro took over Mary Joie.
Ooh.
Could you imagine how that would look? Like that's a massive so like I think it would just be a great thing, and now that frees up Usopp, Sanji, Nico, Chopper, and Zoro to actually have their own battles, allowing Frankie just to literally, we'll call it a 1-on-1, but it'll be a 6-on-1, like in his Megazord, in his Thousand Sunny Zord.
It's like he becomes the new Stella, like Jose said in chat. Like it's.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I've been saying that I still am holding out hope that some big Frankie lore drops are going to happen at Egghead. Frankie's my second favorite Straw Hat. Like I've been waiting for on him. But I really think it's going to happen in the post. Like once they're off the island and like on their way to wherever they're going next.
Is it weird that like after Egghead, I think we're going to have a weird transition into what's his name? Newgate's clone.
Ooh, Weeble.
Yeah, Weeble. Because remember, there's been this whole talk that because Green Bull captured him and sucked out his essence, that now he's going to end up being shredded just like Whitebeard was in his prime. So I think it would just be another one of those extensions of if we see like a clone of Rock's come back, we've got Stussy, we've got essentially a clone of Newgate. There's just all these things that we have. And then
Shiki returns and brings all the Rock's pirate clones together.
No, see, and it's funny that you mentioned that Green Bull making him like skinny and stuff like that. He could be like closer to like Whitebeard in his prime as far as appearance and stuff. I put on my bingo card that we see Queen again, but he's like fit. He's like jacked. He's like
just ripped, super CrossFit like, Queen.
Yeah, like Giga Chad. And like, can you imagine that? Like, I would love that. But
that would be dope.
I was also thinking, because we were talking about like Frankie in like the potential post arc, is like it would just make a lot of sense to me because he exploded Vegapunk's old lab.
Yeah.
Like if he saved this one from being exploded from this Buster Call, that would be like such a, I don't know, that's a cool inversion, and we know Oda be playing with them sometimes, so
right. Well, and then
cool.
Right, and then it would be even cooler that he foreshadowed that like 10 years ago, and now we get that payoff that damn, that's why it had to blow up, you know. And so I'm right there with you on that one, Vex. That would just be a really cool inversion and a neat like payoff for Frankie too. Like that would be, I think, a bigger upgrade than actually him getting like a new weapon or anything. Would getting control of those satellites would just be game changing. Because then now you might, because then now that throws things into the ballpark to defeat the new pacifistas, because there's so many things that we still need to do, and then even we need to figure out which Straw Hats, like who's fighting the Gorosei.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's crazy. I've been thinking about this. I don't think any of the monster trio are going to fight any of the admirals. Maybe Akainu, but I don't think like Green Bull, Kizaru, or Fujitora are going to go up against any of the monster trio.
Well, so let me ask, Lucas, like who do you think is going to be Akainu's like final opponent? Who's going to be his downfall?
I would love to say Luffy, but if I'm honest, I think Zoro. And my reasoning is
Sabo, bro. Yeah.
Sabo, Sabo actually. But well, that was my reasoning with Zoro, is that I think that he'll be like, this is the man who broke Luffy. Like, you know what I mean? That's my best friend, like he stated in Wano. But yeah, Sabo actually is a better fit because I think Zoro, Robin, Jinbei, Sanji, and Luffy will be the 5 members to fight the 5 Gorons.
Okay. So now here's my other question: is do we feel like the admirals, the old gen and the new, have been keeping their awakened status low key?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think Green Bull already awakened on Wano because he took a different transformation into like that giant forest emergence the same way Enel did. I think Enel was our first awakening of a Logia form, and like they take on caricatures of those elements. So
are you talking about when he does the 10 million volt like?
Yeah, his final one where he's like in his massive thunderbolt form and all of that.
Can we just take a second to ask where the heck did Cody come from just then?
Right,
I've been here the whole time.
Nowhere.
I've been here the whole time. My face is right there.
Like it was just there.
Bro.
Listen, I'm the special great sorcerer. I can just appear and reappear when I need to.
Oh my
This
goodness.
is true.
All right, Takaba.
Okay, but the thing is,
I love
I really like the Sabo matchup as far as like Akainu's final. But the only person I think it would be more poetic is if Dadan herself just walloped to this man like she did Garp. Oh man.
Or you know what? Even more poetic is what happens if it's Garp that takes him down, because remember he was going to destroy him, and if it wasn't for Sengoku slamming his face into the ground, telling him just stop, just don't get up, he would have lost it. So what if that's Garp's final
foreshadowing?
Yeah. Yeah, you better hold me down, because if you don't, I'm gonna suck his. Like if he is the one that does it, like.
And to our knowledge, he has not had another interaction with Sakazuki since that day.
Yeah, because my thought process that started this actually was Frankie. I was thinking when I saw Atlas in the anime and she had on the hollow touch gloves that can touch rays of light, I was like, those hands are big enough and those gloves are big enough to fit Frankie's robot hand. And I was like, what if he's the one that just straight fucking knuckle dusters Kizaru? Like, he puts those on, and because he doesn't have hockey, he can't have hockey armament, at least, as a cyborg from what we've seen. So, like, what if he just knuckle dusters him? Like, puts on those light-touching gloves and is like, my captain! Boom! Like,
Dude, and I just started thinking about it. So if Frankie gets access to the satellites, he'll also have access to those sea beasts.
Yep.
He'll have access to... Oh, my God. I just thought about like what he actually will have access to, and just think like there might actually be like a downside to that of like Frankie's brain could actually get too big for his body, just like Egghead's did. Like he hasn't explained like where his brain's at because it's not in his body.
It's in Punk Records.
Oh, okay.
That's what the apple is. It's like the antenna that connects to it. Yeah. That's what makes me think that instead of like Frankie just getting a command chip or something, he'll get, because Vegapunk said at the beginning of the arc, my goal is to emit the waves of my brain out to the world so everyone has the knowledge I have. I think Frankie will be like the prototype, the person who does that first.
Right.
At least with this train of thought.
Yeah. And then also we still need to see like really the downsides to Gear 5. Like we have yet to really, other than the fatigue and Luffy getting old, we have not really been expressed to like what the cons of using Gear 5 are. We need to have something like that because you can't have the power Luffy and Blackbeard have without having some type of downsides.
Yeah, because like with Blackbeard, he gets twice the amount of damage than a person would. So I definitely think there'll be a big drawback to it.
The downside I feel like is like right now at least is that Luffy can't necessarily control it to the point like first of all it's very limited time. It's a very like quick burning
couple
candle.
minutes.
And then also a lot of people have brought it up on Twitter. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. You know, like no, I'm sorry. That's just me trolling right there. But like the thing is that it literally could be a plot device that he isn't 100% serious, and people are upset about it. And I'm just like, this could be like a legitimate downside. Like, let Oda cook.
Well,
like,
and
I
agree
like,
there with you. Like,
yeah,
I
real
definitely
quick, like when I was watching the Gear 5 episode, like the Gear 5 episode, and like I was listening to Mayumi Tanaka like just like hysterically laughing, and this was a moment where like Wano was a very, very, very serious, like, and Luffy himself was very, very serious leading up to this and things like that, and this could be a point where it's like comical almost to his detriment until he gets to a point where he can control it more. And also it has like a very short shelf life before he burns out of his hockey and things like that.
Right.
But I think that this could be this like legitimately I was watching the episode and hearing Mayumi Tanaka laughing. I was like worried. I was like, oh God.
Right.
This is like maniacal almost.
That makes sense too, because Colleen's, when asked about Gear 5, said that she's done a lot of like work on the laugh specifically because Oda has a very certain laugh in mind for it.
Yeah.
So, like, you guys might be outside because did you guys see that there was a like concept art right of Gear 5 that Oda released, and in that concept art, it's straight here. I have it on my phone. I'll pull it up right now and read out what it says because this blew my mind. It blew my fucking mind, and it's right on topic with what we're talking about right now. Let me find. Bada beam, bada boom. Shout out to my man Ornada, Dan, Dastard Dan, my boy. He's the one that sent me this. His body has the properties of rubber. It adapts on its own. A warrior who spreads laughter and relieves suffering. Slaves in ancient times believed they would be freed by the legendary warrior, sun god Nika. The more he laughs, the stronger he gets.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy. Like,
yeah, that's big, dude.
Oh, man.
I just blew like
that is
Vex's mind.
Crazy. Yeah.
The only thing that like makes me like not believe in that 100%, and I see where you're coming from, Vex, is like I remember Luffy like working himself up to get back into that state when he was fighting with Kaido, and remembering all the people that Kaido had hurt, and that one panel where his eyes blacken out with the smile. Pedro. Oh my God! Like goosebumps. But like you said, immediately right after that, he's up and laughing and like that again. It could be something to his detriment.
Yeah.
So
it transforms like negative, like or like not negative, but like it could transform other like passionate emotions into like hysteria.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know, like that's I don't go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry, that's just a thought I had from what he said.
No, and that's solid. Like, I think that it's less that he like recognize it. I think that he's not even aware of like what he is, because I've had this theory that like when we watch part 1, when we watch the beginning of the series, Luffy was constantly using, like, for the lack of better terms, like absurd moves. Gum battle axe, like the way he was using the just what he thought was the gum properties, the rubber fruit. He used it to that. And we know that when somebody gets a devil fruit, they automatically gain knowledge on how to use that devil fruit. So what if essentially, because now we know it's Nika in there, what if for a certain portion of this, it was essentially Nika subconsciously leaking out into Luffy, allowing him to use these moves that somebody wouldn't necessarily think of, that are so outlandish and so absurd and almost so comical and toonish that it's almost crazy because we'll never see half of those moves ever again. We'll never see those. They're a one-time thing.
Are you talking about like a Gum Gum UFO?
Yeah, UFO or like the Gum Gum Golden Bell or his his Gum Gum Balloon, just random things. So what if subconsciously that was just Nika leaking out into Luffy, allowing him to like access some of this? So I think once Luffy actually recognizes that this is what he is, he's not Luffy, he's Nika now. And once he recognizes that and actually becomes aware of like kind of, for instance, like what kind of car he's driving, because right now it's almost just comical, but I think at a certain point it's going to stop being comical and we're going to see a serious Gear 5.
Yeah.
But right now I'm right there with Vex. I think right now to this point it's almost like detrimental to Luffy because it's so outlandish and it's so like shotgun view on everything. It's not directed at any one thing. It just affects everybody and everything in the environment. So once he actually starts refining it and being able to like hone that,
it'll be like with Gear 4, how he had Bound Man, which was the first form, then he did Tank Man, and then he evolved it into Snake Man, which was like the peak of Gear 4.
Right.
So I see exactly where you're, man.
Right.
I really, really think that there will be multiple levels to how Gear 5 is. Because we literally, like, even though it's been, like, what, 2-3 years now since Gear 5 premiered 2, we're still at the beginning of it. Like, the fights on Egghead are only the second time we've ever seen him use it.
And just like Bonnie is figuring out, like, Luffy is Nika, I think Luffy nobody's told Luffy that he is Nika.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's actually directly told Nika, like, dude, you're Nika the sun god. You this is you. He just is like, oh, I feel good, and
this is my peak
Luffy stuff. Yeah, I'm at peak. Oh, I've got all this energy now. Yum. Like, he doesn't realize it. And just like when Bonnie realizes that's who Luffy is, once Luffy realizes who he is, that's going to be a whole different moment we're going to see.
Can we speak on that panel though? That panel of Bonnie looking up at him and seeing him in his Nika.
Just jumping in the sky.
Yeah, dude, it was beautiful. Otis paneling these days has just been insane, man. Like, he's always had amazing panel work, but like,
did you guys watch the latest episode?
Yes.
1092? Yeah, I cried. I cried very hard. Yes.
Literally, they showed, like, this wasn't something that they showed in the panels, but they showed like young Kuma and little baby Bonnie, and like I was just like, how could you? Oh my God! Like, after everything, everything I've been through, why would you do this to me?
No, dude, it was like 1 a.m. on Saturday, and I'm in bed next to Jasmine, and I'm straight up just like crying, and I'm like, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for Kuma, and she's like, shut up. I'm crying so hard. She's asleep. I'm just like, I'm not ready for this.
Jesus. Like, speak about not being ready. Have any of you guys watched Pluto?
Not yet. No. I've heard it. It's amazing.
Yeah, Fritz, the shipwright of the last arc, he was on it, and I've heard like it's a tearjerker, like for sure.
Dude, okay. It's so stupid, and there's just a scene with like one of these dogs, and it looks like one of those robotic dogs you get from like Toys R Us, like a 2010 robot dog, and this thing is essentially dying on the table. This guy's trying to fix this dog, and the way he's talking to this dog, like I lost my ish, because I'm like, that's my real dog, and I'm looking at my dog while I'm watching this, and I'm like, screw you, Pluto, for putting this on here. Like, damn you. Like it's that, like, what popped in my brain is that Kevin Hart, like, no, I wasn't ready. No, I wasn't ready.
That's exactly how it felt, though, man. I wasn't like because I was expecting the whole "don't hurt my daddy" moment, but like, dude, when they showed that little clip of him holding baby Bonnie, I just lost it.
I was not ready for that at all either.
Yeah, like him holding her up and seeing young Kuma and knowing like what's to come, like everyone always says like, oh, if you read further in the manga, it's gonna ruin the anime for you. No, it's not.
No,
it makes
I think it actually makes it worse.
Yeah,
like you know what's coming, and like here's the saddest thing is I have 3 friends that they literally just started One Piece. One is on episode 60, one is on like 71, the other's on 31. And I'm just like, I'm just like, fuck. Like, I want to be a good friend and prepare them for what's going to happen. But so what I'm doing is I've been doing lives with them that I want to get their live reactions. Like, watch these 10 episodes and then let's come back and talk about them. Because I know how I feel about them, but I want to get your insight. Like when you see Crocodile versus Luffy round 1, or you see Nico Robin screaming, "I want to live." Like, how does that make you feel? What are your thoughts here? You know,
we have you may be mutuals with them, Jacoby DS or Jacoby DJ. Yeah, we had him on like 2 weeks ago, and he just hit. He's on Punk Hazard right now, and we were cooking with him on Fishman. I love that, man. I love hearing like people's experience when they first watched the series, because I watched him react to the nothing happened moment live on when he was on TikTok, and like just seeing his face when he finally like realized what it exactly was. It was peak. Well, it was amazing.
It's crazy because one of them is my friend, and he does contracting for a really big video streaming service, has an N in it. And so he hit me up one day. And there's a reason why I'm saying that. So he hit me up probably 4 months before One Piece, the live action came out. I got to watch it like 3 months before any of you guys. I couldn't say anything. And because he's asking me, and he's calling me, and he's putting me on live, and he's asking me questions like, am I saying this name right? And because he does translations for this company, he speaks multiple different languages, so he was translating it into Portuguese. And so he was asking me, and so I literally got to watch these first 4 episodes, and that got him into it. He's like, I want to watch One Piece now. And he's like, but it's crazy because I like when he hit me up, like he video chatted me, and all of a sudden there's just this Jolly Roger on the screen. And at first I thought he was watching the trailer. No, it was the whole first episode, like 40 minutes. And I'm like,
insane.
No subtitles, no nothing, just live, just Japanese. And I'm like, what am
I seeing right now? Yeah. That's crazy.
And man. So it was so hard for me not to be able to say anything because I'm definitely not trying to get my buddy fired. Yeah. There's only so many people that are doing translations for something like that. And oh my God, man. Like it's just amazing that something like that got somebody into such an amazing series. And I'm like, I even recommend it. I'm like, hey, because you've got kids and a life and you're a college professor, like maybe do One Piece instead of One Piece. It might help a little bit. And then if you really like it, go back and watch One Piece. He's like, no, I want the full experience. He's like, I want it all. I'm like, okay, you're going to see a lot of intros and previous episodes.
I almost just went into Shiny running forever.
But I broke him down last night. I introduced him to episode 1 of the One Piece Fox Kids one.
Oh my God. No. The 4 kids dub. Yo.
Gotta get yo.
Give it up, Luffy.
Give it up,
Zoro. Don't give it up.
Here's how the treasure goes. We find out there's a treasure in the Grand Line. There's no doubt.
Like how
on, and he'll be saying, "I'm the king of the pirates. I'm
going to be king." Yeah, yo. Set sail for One Piece. That's Monkey D. Luffy gonna be king of the pirates.
How can we just get that intro, but with like the current episodes?
The guy who did that.
The One Piece. I want it for the One Piece, like the new remake. Like that's what. I
heard. The guy who did that song initially though went back. Like I think it was like 2 years ago to celebrate the 25th anniversary. He went back and added lines all the way up to Jinbei for the crew.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I'll send it to you. It's so good, dude.
Okay, now I've got to go watch that when we end this because that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing, dude. But
it's even cooler that he's introduced his daughters to it.
That's
like
awesome.
His 6 and 8-year-old daughter are watching this, and it's like that's dope. Like he's like, I'm actually digging it. So it's funny that I'm like, who's your favorite character right now? Like 60 episodes in, and he's like, oh, I'm loving Buggy. I'm like, all right.
Yes.
Yeah, I like to
It's
hear
like,
that.
you're good people.
Oh my goodness. No, so I went back and read because like I was like, you were talking about the influence that the fruit or Nika itself could possibly have on Luffy, and it's literally in the first chapter. There's a panel that sorry, like that's why I popped off for a second and disappeared, but he was saying in the absolute first chapter when the red-haired pirates are leaving and this guy's just like, aren't you upset they're not taking you with you? And he's just like, nah, I'm chilling because after eating the rubber fruit I've become even happier, look. And so it's like literally in the first chapter you can kind of see the influence that Nika has already had on Luffy since
That
childhood.
brings up that theory that Fritz has had forever now, that when Luffy ate the gum fruit or the Hito no Mi model Nika, it altered his brain to be like that of a child. Like it kept his brain in that state of a child. But I'm thinking it's more so what you guys are saying. It's Nika. It's because Nika means smile in and of itself. He's hardwired now to be a happier person.
Right.
Yeah, and like,
that's
go
just
back and
innately
reread.
Nika. Nika
Yeah,
is
go back
joy,
and-
Nika is happiness.
If you look immediately after he's yelling him like that's the rubber fruit, yada yada, and he's telling him like what it is, and Luffy's jaw drops to the floor and he's like, you idiot. And then there's just like a jolly little scene of him walking around by some cows and windmills, and the very next thing you see is just Luffy cheesing, just a big old smile, and it's like it's a full like it's crazy. Like it's
Nika, you mean Ashura?
And then why would that not fit like a perfect dichotomy to Blackbeard having 3 personalities, Luffy having his personality, Luffy, and then Nika's having 2. Like it perfectly just fits together. That, like you're saying, like from day one, that's been Luffy, and we've never questioned it because that's how he's always been. Is that funny grin on his face, always just comical, always just Luffy. But what if innately that has been some of Nika?
Also, if the episodes with Uta are canon, like before he ate the gum fruit, does that mean like he was all grumpy and didn't like pirates and all of that? Does that mean that it's like more canonizing that Nika actually altered his brain state and it's not like Luffy doing all this stuff, but it's really just like the spirit of Nika carrying him through it?
Yeah, like
I
a
think
vessel.
so. Yeah.
Just like how Yuji is carrying around Sukuna. Like, why isn't it that same idea?
And it's interesting because Luffy did have his heart stop before awakening to that. That is crazy. Yeah, like, oh my goodness.
Dude.
We're on to something here. But
Like, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like One Piece is we're gonna go somewhere dark really quick. Because we had a lot of lighthearted stuff with Nika, and I think we need to get the shift in Blackbeard, and that's going to be.
I think that'll start with the Ancient Kingdom. When we learn about the Void Century, I think it'll be some of the most tragic, darkest things that Oda has written.
Dude, I think that Void Century is going to make the frickin' Fishman Island just look like a play date. Like it's going to make Marijois look like a freaking playground. Like it is going to be probably the most racist stuff and just brutal storyline we've ever seen. The most tragic things you can think of humans doing to one another. Like, it's going to be some Purge style stuff.
Bro, I need to see like more about like what's going on.
A great cleansing, you say?
Dude, like
crazy. Yeah, like, but no, I really need to see like more on the Void Century, and since I did choose this clickbaity ass title, like we should maybe talk about the Void Century a little bit more. Do you think that we're gonna get it through like the Gorosei or Emu, or do you think there's a chance that we might like because like in my opinion, this is where I think we might get it from, is maybe like getting a little bit more on Toki's backstory. She's from there. She's literally from there. Like, or like, how do you frame it? Like, Ryan, if we were to somehow get taken back to the Void Century, in the panels, like, how do you think that goes down?
So I genuinely feel like this is where Nika comes in right here. This is where Robin is going to play an important thing. I think she is going to be the one because, all right, remember they said that they saved books from O'Hara. There were books saved from the burning island of O'Hara. I think in some of those books, Robin is going to be able to translate the information that's in there, along with the information on the red poneglyphs, the road poneglyphs. And this is going to give her everything that she needs to know to be able to like break down like what happened. Like maybe not in an overview, like everything, but we're definitely going to find out why the Void Sentry had to be the Void Sentry, why it had to be removed.
See, I've been on the same train of thought. I think that once we get to Elbaf and we meet Saul again, it's hinted at that Saul's the one who pulled the books out.
Yeah, and he's the man kissed. He's the man kissed by flames. Like,
yeah, that's my guess as well. And I think that you're right. I think Robin's going to be the one that leads us into the century. I think her.
So I think it's going to be her translating it, but I think with the translating is we're going to try to get like flashback interpretations.
Yeah,
with her narrating like what we're seeing, or I'd even be interested in to see if they present it kind of in the same way they're going to animate Kuma's backstory, because that's going to go through a lot of narration through somebody else, through Egghead, or through Dr. Vegapunk. So telling Bonnie about this stuff. And so it just makes me wonder how they're going to approach that. But I think it's going to be Robin that has to share with everybody
100% agree.
These tragic things.
Yeah, 100% agreed.
And then there's that idea that like Oda playing chess, that if you forget the past, you are bound to relive it. So I need to share the past so that way we can pull in the pain out, end the cycle of pain.
Every time I think of pain, I just think about my 9-year-old quoting that to me.
No, that's the funniest thing, Ryan, is like Lucas has seen less of Naruto than his 9-year-old. We were in a Discord
you know what, Lucas,
call,
go get your 9-year-old on here. I need to talk to him about jutsus.
Yeah.
Bro, no, but we were literally in a Discord call, just shooting the shit, having a blast and whatnot, and he's picking up his kid, and like from the back seat, his kid just like says to him, he's like, "Hey, tell him that One Piece sucks and Naruto's better." And I was just like,
hey Lucas, we're gonna start training him in power scaling, man. Yeah. He's gonna be like, Naruto is so faster than Lightspeed. He's so GLS.
Yeah, he's GLS.
Naruto is 2 times GLS, Dad.
Naruto's already confirmed faster than Lightspeed.
Yeah.
Come on now,
Dad,
Madara.
Naruto is so mid. Boruto is planetary now. So like, get with it. Come on. God, Dad. You sound like you're such a fake weeb. You're just gonna be scrolling my feed and you're gonna see your son's little pic, and we're gonna be like, "What do you think about this? Who wins, Goku or Naruto?" And we're just gonna have him in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "Well, Naruto's multi FPL," and
you're gonna be like, "Why? Where did you get this balance from in your TikTok account?" It's like, I've been doing lives.
No, the ultimate thing would be if he sees his kid in your comments and not in his own.
No, what's funny is
you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
He's like, One Piece is mid. Like, I can't watch that. Like, bro.
He'll get on my mom's TikTok. Like he'll get on her phone and like comment on my videos. And
in my comments, he tags his dad. He's like, "He's so mid. What do you think?" Oh God! That has me fucking right.
Oh, you almost killed me.
Oh my God! Oh, a little power scale. We'll call him LPS for short. Little power
scaler.
Little power scaler.
Oh my God! You know any slinky tricks? Do a slinky trick.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Whoa! Paris rolls over and Paris rolls over your neighbor's dog. It's quick for a snack.
You guys think Joy Boy?
Sorry, go.
Oh no, you're good.
No, I'm sorry. Someone started singing the Log song.
I can't help it. Whenever I see a Slinky, I think of Log from Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
What was that
Cody.
about Joy Boy? Cody?
Yeah, what was that about Joy Boy?
Do you guys think Joy Boy and Nika are the same person?
No.
No.
Okay, cool.
I think Joy Boy is the same essence as like what Luffy is today. He was a vessel for Nika.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that Joy Boy was the previous awakener of the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika, but Nika predated that by quite a bit.
Long
as well.
John Magnum.
Like,
Yep. Long
Okay.
John.
Oh,
Magnum. So,
Or what
He was-
if Nika is the reason there is the Void Century? So
Go
remember,
on. You have to
the
elaborate.
world government does not want anybody to know about the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika. They changed it to the Gum Gum no Mi in the dictionary and the Devil Fruit Index to hide the truth from the public.
yes.
The truth is power. So what if the reason why they took the truth off the table and giving people the knowledge of Nika being real is so they can create the myth around him, and that myths aren't real. So now there's no proof that this person ever existed, but they find that the essence of this person is now transferred into these devil fruits. And that's why it's constantly eluding the world government.
Mm-hmm.
It only shows itself to who it finds suitable. And so far, we only know of Luffy and Joy Boy being the only two wielders of Nika. Or, well, not even the wielders of it, but possible vessels for Nika.
Yeah.
So what if that is the reason why the world government erased just why we have the void?
It's interesting. Like, I like the thought, so I mean, I am in the school of thought that like there have been previous users, they just haven't gotten to the point of awakening the the air quotes gomu gomu no mi,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
the only confirmation that we have is that it hasn't been awakened in
Yes.
800 years. So
Right.
I think there's definitely been other users, and like I also think that devil fruit are like a way of storing a previous user's will, and so Joy Boy and Nika both themselves are somehow exerted in through Luffy, kind of like in a one for all type of situation,
Like vessels.
like we see with Sabo and Ace and things like that, like through the Mara no Mi. I think that all devil fruit kind of have that ability inherently to like pun intended, like inherent will.
But that would be
like,
cool though. Like if they had the shared experience of like previous users of those devil fruits.
I definitely agree with you though, Vex. I think that
That's awesome.
the Gummo Gummo no Mi had users in between the Void Century and now. And I think, like you said, they just didn't, maybe their wills didn't align with that of Nika's, so it didn't awaken.
Yeah.
Or they just could not awaken it. Or maybe
Yeah.
even the world government took them out trying to get the devil.
Yeah. There it is. Because remember, we have the scene of how quick they just pop up. You can't track where they're going to pop up at.
Yeah.
So like once, I don't even know, did they ever explain how they got their hands on Ace's fruit after he passed?
No.
They just
I have a
glanced over.
theory. I have
Huh?
a theory.
What is it?
So he passed. We've seen that devil fruit reincarnation is at least somehow related to the type of fruit and or the proximity, if we count what we saw from Smiles and Punk Hazard.
Yes.
And I think that because of their heavy involvement in Smiles and having the factory on their island and things like that, that it would make sense if Doflamingo was aware of the type of fruit. Like we saw that the Kaku's fruit was like a red banana. Like if the specific type of fruit, as well as being in proximity of the user upon their passing, would allow for them to farm the reincarnation. And this goes back to when we saw Burgess in the Corrado Coliseum, who had a big old lumpy sack on his back and was ready to stabby stab and things like that. Like, what if he didn't know what type of fruit? So he just had a ton of fruit there, and that he was just assuming that he would be able to unalive somebody, and then their fruit would hopefully end up in that sack on his back.
Yeah.
And, because of proximity and the nature of the types of fruits. And that would make sense because Doflamingo was right there in the War of the Best.
Very true.
I mean,
maybe so.
have a lot to go off of,
something that
but
he was already prepared for.
yeah, I mean, we don't have a lot to go off of, but specifically, if he knew that, like, because nobody knew that Whitebeard was like actually officially going to show up, and if he did, like, we would know that he was gonna pass away. But maybe Doflamingo had like a fruit in his, you know, for Ace, who was due to be executed. It's pretty safe that he's gonna be unalived.
Right.
And maybe he also had like one for Whitebeard, but because Teach showed up and Teach was much more proximally like like he was literally right next to Whitebeard when that went down. It has to be something kind of simple. Like, I don't think it's really something that could be like too shrouded in mystery. It's just the simple fact that we don't know a lot of people who have actually seen the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia. We've only got confirmation of 3 individuals who have confirmed looked at Devil Fruit Encyclopedia in the entire story, and that is Sanji, because he grew up in the North Blue, Blackbeard because he was looking for the Yami Yami specifically, and Vegapunk when he just recently mentioned it. So it's not that like it could just be that like it's not common knowledge what types of fruits these people need.
Right.
And only a select few know. And I think Doflamingo would absolutely qualify as being one of those select few. So that's my opinion. That's my theory on how he got the Mera Mera no Mi after Ace's passing.
Well, and you know what? That would make sense too, because being of celestial dragon blood, there would be that opportunity that he might be able to have access to somewhat of that knowledge. So that totally fits Dofi's character right there of just planning, trying to be a step ahead.
Also, there's only few people we know who have named devil fruits by epithets. Like, we know that the Magu Magu is supposed to have the highest attack power of all Logias, and the Gura Gura is supposed to be the most destructive Paramecia. And specifically, Doflamingo as somebody who called the Ope Ope no Mi the ultimate devil fruit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And others, and then we've heard the most ridiculous power in the world with the Nika fruit. And then we also heard with the Yami another specific epithet. How many other devil fruit have like epithets though? Those are kind of like the only ones. Like,
you forgot about the most useless fruit, the Jeki Jeki.
Okay, cool. Got you 500,000 views. So how you?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That is true. That is true.
Yeah,
like that's
true.
That's seemingly like gate kept knowledge, like semi esoteric. And you know, I would think that Doflamingo, especially with him knowing what he knows about the Ope Ope no Mi, would absolutely have probably had access to a Devil Fruit Encyclopedia at one point or another. So I think that's how he got a hold of the Mera Mera.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's like how Devil Fruit just typically reincarnate.
No, and then that totally sets with the theme in One Piece that it's not the crimes, it's not the person, it's not the weapon or the devil fruit that's the most powerful. It's knowledge. Yeah. It's the knowledge and the truth that is the most powerful things. Because if like Oda's always just playing chess on stuff like that. And so I hope we get to see payoffs. That's my big thing. I hope we get to see payoffs from all this stuff, because we're now starting to get those from like 15 years ago. And that's what I'm really hoping for, is that continued results.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to see more devil fruit objects. This is the island where I was sure we were going to see some. I haven't seen anything. I didn't see it. Like, unless you count the Seraphim, but I think they're more people than objects, you know, like they have sentience and like wills of their own because of what we saw with S-Snake. But legit, like, this was the place where I was like, oh yeah, we're about to figure out how Zoans get put into objects. We're about to figure out like this or that. We're about to, like, this is about to go so hard. I didn't get any of that.
Facts. And like, you know what? I've got to be honest. Like, I felt that same way when we were on the Kuzan and Garp fight. I thought we were going to have such a great payoff with the whole Perona being on the island, with Gecko Moria being locked up. I swear to God, I thought for sure Gecko was going to line up with the Cross Guild. And, I was just...
The fact that we didn't even get to see Wang Ji was crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
No,
boys, I will lie. I have to go. Please keep cooking, though. I love you all. It's always good seeing you. Cody, I love you so much, man. I miss being on Chadmirals with you. We were only gone for a week.
Bro.
But no, I'll see y'all later. Have a good rest of the cook.
You too,
Later.
Lucas. Later.
Yeah. Just real quick, because he's too humble to plug his own stuff. Make sure you check out the links in the description. You can catch Straw Hat Lucas's TikTok there. That's our captain. Make sure you go show him some love. He's gonna do a bikini stream when he hits 3,000, and the 2-piece is real. I'm hyped for that.
Oh, I hope it's a string 2-piece. Oh, we're gonna get him there. We're gonna make sure that happens. All right. So, what do you guys want to fire off next? What are you guys thinking?
I have no clue. I honestly, what are some of your favorite 90s animated cartoons, Ryan? I know that the cartoon master has left the building, but I mean, you have so much nostalgia from like a time when I was born in 96, so I didn't get to experience a lot of the 90s. I've got to experience more of the thousands growing up with that.
So for me, definitely, we already talked about it. Like Batman animated series for me was iconic growing up. You know, X-Men animated series, that Spider-Man animated series.
Oh, man.
Which funny thing, do you know that in that series, Spider-Man only threw like, I think less than 10 punches that actually hit people? Because they wanted to censor it. They didn't want to have violence. So every time you see Spider-Man get somebody in that's not a robot, it's with his webbing.
That's so crazy.
It's just a weird thing. But then even, dude, like I grew up with definitely Darkwing Duck, Tailspin.
When there's trouble, you call DW, bro.
Yeah.
Of course.
The most
such a fire theme song.
Like I guarantee whoever it was, they walked into the studio. They're like, "Hey, we just need a simple, song for this really cool Disney, animated series. It's about a detective Darkwing. It doesn't have to go too hard. Nothing that people need to talk about for the next 30 years." And boom, that's what we got.
Dude's like, say less, like. Bro.
But then even so I'm in California, so I'm a hockey fan, so I definitely watched the Mighty Duck films, but I loved the animated Mighty Duck series. It was so cornily dope. A whole planet full of basically Howard the Ducks.
Did you watch the new DuckTales where they canonized the beginning of like the actual Darkwing Duck and how he had his origin story told throughout the episode?
Yes, and what I love more than anything is now we have the understanding of why Launchpad is in both series.
It's so goated. It was like Oda level like storytelling. I can't even.
Oh, we got a payoff from 20 years ago. Oh,
it was so amazing.
It sucks that I don't even think the series got repicked up for more. I'm not sure. Nope. I haven't really seen anything on any more of the new DuckTales stuff, but I love how they brought in Darkwing.
It was literally like the coolest way to do an origin story, and it was so perfect. Like it set up everything, and like if we ever wanted to get a remaster or like a new retelling of that, it could easily pick up just from then as like a different like soft reboot almost, and just like do different Darkwing Duck episodes then, but we still have that origin story from DuckTales. Like so good.
Oh, it's just perfect. Like because one of my favorite ones is like the original DuckTales movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one was absolutely awesome. Like I'm just
you remember Gargoyles?
Oh, absolutely. So I have my Goliath and my Brooklyn and my Bronx and my Hudson. There's a couple more that I need. I want to get the Xanatos in his armor. Like they've got a few good ones that came out. I still need to get my Demona, but I'm excited because you guys know that we're getting a live action Gargoyles series coming out, right?
Yep.
So let's hope it does justice.
You didn't
because
know
that series didn't end right.
No, I did not know that. I'm saying I have almost no faith in most live actions. I don't really pay attention to a lot of. That's crazy though.
Dude, it's nuts.
Are they gonna go with like practical effects or like I don't know?
I don't know. So okay, they've got to go with CGI, like on when the gargoyles are waking up. Like that's definitely I don't really see how you could do that practical, but I genuinely hope they try to use as much practical stuff as possible. Like it's good. I don't want it to look super corny, and I swear to God, if you have 5 CGI characters on a screen with 2 real life ones, it's gonna look a little hokey.
So did you ever watch Doctor Who?
Oh, you know what? A little bit. I almost was like, yeah, I watch it. I've watched a little bit of it. It's hard for me to get into.
There's I'm not gonna talk too much about it because I think you should absolutely like get into it. Other than One Piece, it's probably my favorite piece of media, and it has made me weep.
Okay, I gotta be honest. I only watched the first 4 episodes of season 1, so okay. That's what I'll do next. I'll definitely give it more.
Watch up to episode 6 and you will not be able to stop watching after you see that episode. But like in season 3, there's a really it's regarded as by the fans as one of the, if not the best episode in all of modern Doctor Who. And it revolves around I'm sure you've probably heard of these individuals, the Weeping Angels. And
I've seen clips of them with like the hands popping out of the ground, and then like every time you blink they get closer or something.
Yeah, so but the thing is it's they're quantum locked beings, and so if you can see them, then they are just like statues. But if they're not being perceived currently, then they exist. Yeah, so it's really cool. But there's the thing is, it's so funny. They had the costume design and practical effects done so well that we like the actors themselves were thinking that in some scenes they used statues, and in some scenes they used like actual practical effects and people who were in like costume and whatnot. And there was one of the showrunners was like talking to somebody who was like in a Weeping Angel like get up, and like they had like all of the practical effects, the prosthetics, the makeup, the garb, and everything. And they were like, okay, so we're gonna break and take lunch. We're getting everyone's lunch order. What do you want? And the person didn't respond to them. And he's like, hey, come on. He snapped in front of him, and it was a statue. Like they literally could not tell the difference between the. So I think that it's absolutely possible to get like a live action gargoyles thing right with practical effects alone. But as far as the transformations, yes, I think I think it'd just be cheaper to do. I think it's weird when CGI is like the more cost-effective option, but I think that would just be the easier way to get it to look good.
I think and the sad part is I don't even think it's like the good easy. I think it's like the cop. I don't even want to say like the cop out. I think it's just saying like we don't want to put the time into using the practical effects, so we'll just do it like this. Because I agree, if you got a solid FX studio behind you on that, and you got the right characters, and the ones that, like, let's be honest, if they were willing to go through that same transformation that like Jim Carrey went through for, say, like the Grinch, you could do that.
Yeah,
and you could do it. You could do it well.
With the Weeping Angels, that was in like 2008, 2009. So like special effects, practical effects have come a long way since then as well. And so I don't know. I hope that they like, especially like, I wasn't a fan exactly like of how the fishmen looked for the most part. Some of them looked pretty cool, but in the live action, I was like, man, I don't know. It looked fine. I think it could have looked better is my thing. I don't want to complain about it. I just think that it could have done better. Like I would say it's above average as far as practical effects go. But if they do a good enough, if they do a well enough job, I think that like for something like the live action gargoyles, it wouldn't really be that hard. Like it wouldn't be as hard as like trying to pull off an Arlong. You know what I mean?
Right. Like if they don't go too overboard, and we'll really see how they approach this with Chopper. Like if they can rebound from Arlong and they do a solid, however they approach Chopper, I think if they do a good job on it, that's how they need to start approaching some of the Fishman stuff. As far as like, instead of like some of those prosthetics, because like, let's be honest, that nose on Arlong, that thing was god awful. It looked like it was being held together by popsicle sticks. So but there are still some good things about Arlong. Like, let's be honest, from the neck down, the design on him was solid. It's just that nose throws everything off. It didn't look like it was done well. It looked a little shoddy. I don't think it added to the character. I think it kind of like, maybe even I'll say took away a little bit from some of the moments in the fight. Because I'm like, why is the nose gonna fall off? Like, what's holding it on his face? Like, what the hell?
That was more suspenseful than like, is Luffy gonna win the fight? Like, is his nose okay?
Right.
Like,
and then you start thinking, wait, if you can do that with Arlong, wait, where's Usopp's nose? What the heck? Like, what are we doing here? Like, we're just gonna walk around and think this doesn't happen? But so I would have done it a different way. Like, and weirdest thing is maybe you just green screen, like have somebody wear like a green cap on their nose. And that way you can just add in those features later or something. But the teeth were really good. The hair was good. It was just that nose. I even thought, like you said, Vex, like some of the other fishmen didn't look bad. They didn't look great, but they didn't look bad. And there's room for improvement. And I hope that, they do that with some of the other races that we see.
I think that like, and I was memeing earlier, but like, it'd be so funny. I really don't I don't know where I'm at with, like, as far as season 2 goes with Chopper. But I was memeing on the Rose Skull podcast with Polly Pete earlier. And I was like, I was just like, yo, I hope he looks like Sonic, like the first draft. Like, let's go. Like,
yeah, with the human teeth.
Let's go.
Those square old teeth just looking super creepy. So my biggest hope here is that when they start filming this, Drum Drum Island is based off a real place in Canada, right?
Yes.
The whole design aesthetic, the buildings, I mean, not even like inspired. We're talking like a 1-for-1. So my hope is that when they start filming, they actually go and film up in Canada at this place that's a recreation. That's basically Drum Drum Island. It has the castle, it has the clock tower, it has everything. Like, if you just type in real Drum Drum Island, so many pictures come up, and it's stupid. It's stupid. Like, Oda has to have been there. And it's just like crazy. So I hope that they do it right, because that would be one of those super like deep cut Easter eggs that if you read the manga, you're going to know that Drum Drum Island's a real place. So we're going to go and film in Drum Drum Island, the real place. Oh, what is Odeception this?
I think Den was the one who told me about it, because he is our resident like Drum Kingdom stan. He absolutely loves that arc and everything. And I remember seeing in a video of his a long time ago, I forgot the name of it though, but it's a really pretty name. It's like French Canadian like
French
naming. Bro, I knew this would get Cody back into the conversation, bro. Like, we spent like 4 hours just sending French memes at each other yesterday.
Shout out to Kube of the Red Sea, my favorite Frenchman.
Oh my god, the slander.
I think he's Belgian, but he really hates it when I call him French. So he's my favorite French guy, next to my French fries.
Oh, so it's called Banff. It's the island of Banff in Canada.
Like Nightcrawler, like Banff.
Yeah,
No.
BANFF.
Oh, I thought it was badass.
That would be even better.
Which wallet is yours? Like,
You can have it. Bam. Hey. Oh. Just going around seeing people just bang on Banff. They're like, Banff. It's like, what is going on here? But it's ridiculous, like, if you look at it. So, like, I have high hopes for it, but I would love to see just what you said, Vex. Like, round 1 Sonic Chopper version. Just having, like, super human creepy features. You're like, you shouldn't have that.
I think that's the way they're gonna like
my
reveal it though. Is they're gonna be like, "Hey, is this good?" And like it's gonna be posted Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and like
Yeah, it's gonna melt down the internet, and that's gonna be their promo team. They'd be like, "We have an idea here."
we know what we need to fix or what like the general
They're-
consensus is.
They're gonna get the Sonic team on this, and they're gonna be like, "So we're gonna pull from our playbook. This is what we did. Just hit it with us, and it'll be a tragic day."
All right, folks, what are we thinking? We've been cooking for about 2 hours here. I feel like getting ready to hop off. I gotta pee a lot, and I'm gonna take a shower and ready to wind down.
I need nummies.
Yeah, I'm down to do some outros. Ryan, go ahead and tell the people where they can find you. I got your link in the description, but just like spit your stuff. Give us the plugs.
All right, so you know what? Come over, follow me at 90s Anime Nostalgia on TikTok. I'm always just having a good time. I'm doing lives weekly. Follow me over on Facebook. I have a 90s Nostalgia group. We're at almost 1.5 million followers. We would love to have all of you over there. We're always just reliving our childhood memories. And follow me over on TikTok and Instagram at 90s Nostalgia Rewind as well. But just like I say in my stuff, man, y'all be good, be rad, and just be weeby, fam.
You weeby. Grishishi.
So, what was so funny there, Cody?
You said plug your stuff, and I said, oh.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've been vexyz, the lurking legend, head cook and host of the Last Ark. Y'all can just call me Vex. It's been a pleasure. Duran, I'm 100% serious with you. I will watch Doctor Who with you. Let's get in a VC and I'll share my screen and I'm 100% about it. Like
He'll watch it with you. He got me into it.
I'm definitely gonna start watching it.
Yeah, I watched it with Diaregulus, and we're all the way up into series 12 now. I've watched it with Cody, and he's gotten through season 1. I love Doctor Who so much. Sorry, you can find me on TLA, and I also just did a podcast episode with Polypede Works and his lovely co-host Zach over at the Rose Skull Podcast. That should be hitting their YouTube, I think, in a week. But you can catch it on the Twitch, and I can link that later, and I'll put it. It's in the Discord actually. If you join click on the link in the description for the Discord, you can see that in the going live section in the promo. I've also got my own channel where I do One Piece D&D stuff. If you're interested in One Piece D&D and figuring out what the world of One Piece might have been like 24 years ago. That's true. I heard that somewhere. We are getting into some crazy stuff right now. I am so hyped for this next Tuesday at 7 p.m. CST when we are going to having it's going to be like a classic event. I'm so hyped. I'm very nervous. But yeah, Group 2 is popping off right now over on my channel. That now is definitely the time to catch up if you have not. But my link is in the description as well. And then I'm gonna send it on over to Cody.
Heyo, it's me, the special great sorcerer of the Last Ark YouTube channel. And if you love any of my hot takes, you'll find even hotter takes over on my TikTok account, where it's just me spitting hot takes about anything, like Goku and Vegeta should be lovers. What does that mean? Find out down there. If you want to also see even crazier themes and plot lines developed, you should follow my D&D games on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/SSJCody. Cody 8 what? Cody 8 this D&D game. We be playing every Saturday. We're planning to come back tomorrow. We've had a couple off weeks because of the move, because of life. It's just been crazy. So make sure you come in there and come check it out. I stream over on Twitch pretty frequently. I've been doing manga reviews, like live reading of the chapters on Thursdays here lately. Be sure to check me out on TLA so that we can get these live manga readings that I'm going to be doing with vexyz here. I got Dawn to Dawn coming up this Sunday. Big plans for 2024. Be sure to subscribe to TLA, join the Discord. All of these wonderful links will be in the description, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Please.
Thank you guys for having me here on TLA. I really appreciate you guys here at the Chadmirals. This was amazing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, bro. Love
Anytime.
to do it again. Cannot wait to have you back on.
Definitely. Vex, Cody, thank you for inviting me. This was just awesome.
Hit the end stream button now. Bye.
Deuces.
Bye bye.
Kiri Shishi.